Welcome back to the Stoop, football fans. It's your boy Lolo, and I am here actually on the stoop. And I know it's crazy. It's usually my internet that stops working as soon as the show starts, but no, it was just beautiful blue skies, and I was like, I'm gonna do the show outside. And now John says, "Are we ready to go live?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." And it starts raining. So yeah, fun stuff. But I mean, what can you expect on a week where Tottenham 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 won a trophy. Tottenham won a trophy. Leave it to Manchester United to deliver a trophy in the most atrocious trophy final that I've ever seen in my life. Just a pitiful display of football. But I may have to run inside soon because it's actually really starting to rain now. So let me bring on Mr. Mark. Mark, help me out here.
Oh boy, welcome everybody to Happy Hour on the Stoop. Lolo's actually on the stoop. I'm inside from the elements in my own little dungeon. Oh my goodness.
All these kids here.
Stoop is riddled with children. I had an exterminator come last week and take care of my children problem.
It's raining kids?
It's raining kids. Hallelujah.
I kind of feel like Mark just said he terminated a bunch of kids. There's
terminated a bunch of children. No, if any sort of internet police are listening, no, I did not murder children. It was a joke, a poor one at that, and I pay my taxes, and God bless America.
What? What are you even talking about?
What Lolo was trying to say without throwing up in his mouth is that Tottenham has won a trophy. They won in what could quite possibly be the worst football final that I have ever seen. And maybe y'all can back me on that, but that was I think it was 90 minutes of my life plus some stoppage time for about 10 minutes of quality football.
No, Mark, there was not 10 minutes of quality football. There was not 10 minutes of quality football.
For a
but
neutral,
I challenge you to go back and clip. No, go and try to find 10 minutes of quality football in that match. It was not there.
Probably could. It was a
not there.
Match, but there was probably 10 minutes of quality football. Is it consecutive 10 minutes? Probably not. But I'm gonna say it for that as a neutral. But no, it was absolutely terrible. I hated every minute of it. And the only thing that I enjoyed was as they are saying in London, that I got to finally see Human Son's armpits when he raised his trophy.
Have you been waiting for that?
No, I have not been waiting on it, but that is the chatter. That is the chatter on the internet.
Well, I'm just sorry, Mark, but when you say I finally got to see his armpits, that means you've been waiting to see his armpits.
No, what I had said was, as they are saying on the internet, I finally got to see Human Son's armpits raising a trophy.
Mark, don't repeat shit that you hear online.
Armpits. I've never seen Saka's armpits.
Well, that's creepy as well, because he's only like a 20-year-old child. I mean, come on.
Oh,
this is getting creepy.
He's a little older than that.
And Mark, he's raised a few trophies, all right? So
what trophy has he raised?
The FA Cup, again, the
FA Cup
the
again?
Man of the Match a bunch of times, Player of the Month,
he's
Young Player of the Season.
Those are individual trophies, my friend.
Those are individual trophies where you get a look at their armpits, you creep. All right?
You can justify it all you want. Nothing is going to change the fact that Tottenham won a trophy. A major trophy at that. You can't call it just a trophy. This is a major trophy.
No, this is a minor trophy, Mark. There are two major trophies. There are two major trophies when you play in the Premier League.
There's the Premier League. Can you tell me whether or not Europa League is a major trophy? I think so.
Qué estupidez. Fue todo el sol. Ya, vamos a empezar.
De repente.
Sí. Es como, vamos a empezar el show del Stoop. Muy bien. Y luego, ok, venga, vamos. 3, 2, 1. Todo de lluvia. Y ahora estoy en directo. Hola, chicas.
For our Spanish-speaking friends.
For our Spanish-speaking friends. It's basically the same thing I said to you guys at the beginning of the show. Please go upstairs.
Only one
yeah.
Spanish speaker with us, and that would be Villa Martin, but
it is really raining out. All right. Yeah, I don't see any of these comments. Are there any comments?
Someone in the comments tell me whether or not Europa League is a major trophy, and I say yes. Yes, it is.
No, the Europa League was made up 10 years ago for clubs like Arsenal that were struggling and couldn't make it happen in the Champions League.
We're going to create a league and a trophy that you won't be able to win.
Exactly. And then we had a hard time doing anything with it. So yeah. Listen. No. The Europa League is it's a big accomplishment. I don't like to take away from anybody winning any trophy, any tournament trophy. We're not talking Community Shield. We're not talking one-off. But they still had to go through a tournament, and they still had to win. And in the end, it was a match versus Manchester United. You still have to win that match. And they won it. I hate saying they won it, because watching that match, no team won that. I just think that they lost less than Manchester United lost. Manchester United lost really bad, and Spurs just lost in life because it was
what do you mean?
It was a horrible performance. Nothing to be proud of in that. It wasn't like they gutted one out or anything like that. It was just atrocious. Just atrocious football.
And so that makes it a lesser of an accomplishment.
I just said it is an accomplishment. It is an accomplishment. However, it's not a major trophy.
You're sounding like Arteta. You're sounding like Arteta when he said Liverpool won the league, but we had more points last year than this year.
Hey, if you're saying I sound like Arteta, then that's fantastic, because he's a brilliant footballing mind. All right.
What makes him brilliant?
I think that's well known, is that he is a very, very intelligent footballing mind. He gets in his own way because of it, and he's still learning. But I honestly think that in years from now, 20 years from now, people are going to look back and say Arteta was a brilliant manager. It's hard to say right now.
Based on what?
Based on the way that he's turned this club around.
So in that case, Eddie Howe is a brilliant manager.
Eddie Howe did a fucking brilliant thing when he went in. Don't forget, when Eddie Howe went into Newcastle, they were relegation bound with half a season to go. And he turned them around into a top 6 club that won a trophy this season. Like, that's fantastic. So yeah, he's brilliant. Listen, people would not be triggered by Arteta as much as they are if he wasn't a brilliant mind. If he didn't have, people don't get triggered by people like that. It's like nobody's triggered by Ange. We're all like, Ange is just like, he's just like this fucking thing that we just got to get through together. He's nothing brilliant about what Ange is doing.
What? He had the balls at the end of last season to say, Don't forget, I win trophies in my second year, and he did.
Oh my God.
What? Am I wrong? Anyone in the comments, did he not say that last year at the end of last season?
Mark, I didn't say he didn't say that.
Win a trophy?
I didn't say he didn't say that. But Mark, you're saying it's balls. So yeah, every year I'm gonna say, you know what, mate? We're gonna win the league this year. And if I'm fucking wrong, I'm fucking wrong, and it doesn't matter. But if I'm right, I'm
every
right.
Arsenal fan in the world says that every year. And you still haven't won anything. Every year, we're gonna win, and you don't.
Yeah.
But
because we have higher standards.
Manager.
We have higher standards.
I told you all on formerly known as Twitter that it might get lively tonight, and
because you're
it's definitely right.
Well, no, you're just playing devil's advocate on everything, and so. Yeah, I mean, you tell me why Mikel Arteta is not a brilliant manager. Why he isn't a brilliant footballing mind, which is what I said.
He hasn't won anything.
So that's all that matters.
Isn't that the whole point?
No.
You tell me. Let me ask you this.
No, you're just skirting the question. I asked you a question.
No, I'm going to get to that.
15, 20 you're going to get to that by asking me a question instead of answering your own question.
15 years from now, are they going to remember that Arsenal finished second, or are they going to remember that Tottenham won a trophy?
Mark, 15 years from now, only Tottenham will remember that they won this trophy because it's the only trophy that they're going to win.
Okay.
Mark.
All right,
Mark.
I guess
I'll tell you this right now. If Mikel Arteta goes one more season and doesn't get a trophy and he gets let go or he leaves the club or gets sacked, whatever you say, the next manager comes in and wins a bunch of trophies, the actual football minds, the actual football people will give Mikel Arteta his dues for what he did to the club. We're already referring to those years towards the end of Wenger, through Emery, to the beginning of Arteta as our banter years. They are our banter years, and we already feel like we're behind. We've gotten them behind us. So that alone, to change the entire culture of a club that was becoming a banter club, a bullshit club, to completely turn that around and get us on the right trajectory where, yes, maybe Mikel Arteta isn't the one who can actually get you over the line. It is his first coaching job. So maybe he does need to leave and learn from his mistakes, take what he did right and take what he did wrong. And maybe he goes to another club and boom, league, and he does fucking fantastic. And maybe a new manager comes in and does take us over the line over and over and over again. Any football fan who knows their shit is going to give Mikel Arteta his plaudits for what he did in such a horrible time in our lives as football players, as a football club.
I had to bring David in just because he was almost going to sleep.
I mean, am I not making good points?
David, no. Is Arteta everything that Lolo is making him out to be?
You're acting like I'm saying he's a god. Like, fucking hell, man. I'm telling you.
Football mind. That is what you said. I'm asking David if he agrees.
Ask Pep Guardiola. Don't ask fucking David. Ask Pep Guardiola. Ask Wenger. Are those not brilliant footballing minds? Their opinions don't matter?
Pep would probably say he's a very good coach.
I'm not talking about him as a coach. I said football mind.
It's all about
and that is a direct quote from Pep Guardiola.
At the end of the day. It's all about winning at the end of the day.
But when you have a bigger task at hand, which is transforming your club back into something, that's why the likes of Chelsea, and Tottenham, Man United, flipping managers as quickly as possible, because it is only about that season. It's not about becoming a better club. And yes, it sucks that we haven't had a trophy when in the past 3 years we should have had at least one trophy of any fucking kind. And we haven't.
No, you shouldn't.
Well, no, we shouldn't based on our performance.
Because you weren't good enough. You weren't good
Exactly.
enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And some of that is on Arteta, and some of that is on the recruiting, and some of that is on the players themselves. But to put that all on Arteta and say, oh, he hasn't won anything because he's a horrible manager, he's not an intelligent manager, you're out of your mind and you're not actually watching football.
I don't think Mark said he was a horrible manager. It's just that he's not won anything.
But he had.
And he won the FA Cup, didn't he? I think in his first year, something like that.
Yeah,
against
you and I
Chelsea.
built that team. Not Arteta.
Mark, you're using talking points.
I would
it's
say,
like building
can
a
I just
sports
say,
car and not getting
Mark,
to drive it. You know,
Mark, you're using talking points from like AFTV and all these Lee Gunner fucking talking points at this point.
You
No,
think
but
Who is the
Lee
team that he
Gunner?
built?
You think I watched that? I don't watch that shit.
You're just repeating the same.
I would say the same thing about Tommy Tuchel in Chelsea winning the Champions League. Tuchel didn't deserve to get credit for that, but he will.
Yeah.
There he is.
But Mark, trophies are all that matter, right? It's only about the trophy, right? It's not about building a team. So it doesn't matter, and Tuchel should get.
It's about winning.
Tuchel should get 100% of the credit then, based on your logic.
But that is how it is. The manager that wins gets the credit. I'm just saying to bring it up as like, oh well, this happened. You can debate otherwise. He's frozen. No, he's not frozen. He's
no.
He doesn't.
I'm
like
not.
What I have
I'm
to say.
frozen listening to these arguments because it's just crazy. It's just crazy to hear this from you, Mark. I feel like you went like scouring football Twitter for like the most generic.
No, I watch football.
Can I just say something?
Please,
can
David.
I just say something?
It's
gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt Lolo, but Arsenal are more Spursy than Spurs are now. It's true.
Oh my God!
And
for today, sure.
You've got to acknowledge that they've won a major European trophy. It's a major European trophy. There's only two major European trophies. Champions League, Europa League, formerly the UEFA Cup.
Let me ask you.
Formerly the Intercity Fairs Cup.
What major trophy has 16th place in the league playing in it and losing? You won against 16th fucking place.
Yeah, but these things happen, don't they? These things happen. At the end of the day, Lolo, that Arsenal were in that tournament and they didn't win it, and they played teams of a similar standard.
And we also played it. We were in the Europa League when Champions League teams were dropping down, and we lost to Champions League teams.
So you got a double bite at the cherry and failed.
We lost to No, not us. Not us. We never dropped down into the Europa League. When we got knocked out of Champions League, we were just fucking out. But I'm saying when we were in the Europa League, we faced an Ajax and Villarreal, I believe.
In the Champions League.
No, but look, at the time we were not
knocked out.
Yeah, but and at the time we weren't good enough to win anything. At the time,
I'm sorry, but this Arsenal supporters this week, it's not just yourself. Arsenal supporters this week have been so sour about Spurs winning. Yeah. They should keep their mouths shut and they should be a little bit humble, because they've not won anything for a number of years and they keep on choking every season.
Yep. You're not wrong about that, David. You're not wrong about that, David. And listen, I need to eat that. I need to eat that, David. You're 100% right. However, I can have my opinion about what I think
Gary's got
about
that.
their season.
Gary's got that deer in the headlight.
Their
headlights
season's
look.
been awful. Their season has been awful. But I think it's
So let
fair
me.
to
So
say.
let me ask.
To say in the last
Can you
few
hear us,
months,
Gary?
he has concentrated on that tournament.
And maybe Amarin should have, because the past like 5 matches, Ange has played nobody, and Amarin has played his whole team. And then when it came down to the final, they got that goal.
Their form guide has been similar in the last 6 games. I think they've both only drawn 1 game out of 5.
But Ange has been resting everybody. Has been resting everybody, and maybe Amarin should have done that, because once Tottenham once Spurs and Ange saw that they couldn't be relegated, it doesn't fucking matter. 13th place or 17th place doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is the cup.
Yeah. And why does it matter? Why does it matter?
Because it's a trophy.
No, 80 million reasons.
And money. Exactly. Yeah. What's up, Gary? Sorry about that, man. I need a little help here.
Hello. No, I see every time I listen to David when I'm not here, he's going off on my team, my players. That's all he does, man. He's just going after him.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. Arsenal have not won anything for 5 years.
We
continually
know.
Choked. Continually choked, Gary. And what my point was is that Arsenal fans on the whole this week, I've been listening on the radio.
Yes.
It sticks in their throat. Spurs won a major European trophy.
Absolutely, it hurts.
And they're eating lemons.
Oh, yeah, I'm not that fan. I'm not those fans. I hate it that we haven't won, but but I'm not like I'm not whatever that is, because that's not my fault that they won. Right? I had nothing to do with them winning a trophy this year. We had nothing to do with that. They did that themselves, and you know what? They're doing what everybody else does. They play to win They play to win the next game. And guess what? If you win enough of them, at the end of the day, you get to put your arms up. We don't play like that. You know, as a team, like if you look at the way we play, we don't play like, you know what, this might be the win that gets us across the line. So yeah.
And I'm sorry, BX.
You didn't rest your starters in the Premier League for the Champions League?
We did.
You did exactly what Gary said you don't do.
We did. We did. Once we saw the league was out of our hands, like it would have taken a fucking miracle to win the league. We started focusing just on that one competition, and we still didn't get over the line.
Yeah. Well, he didn't rest.
And you may say that's Arteta's fault.
He played a lot of his starters in those games, and we still struggled. And I think that's a mentality thing more than I'll rest them. Sure. I'll rest them so that they can come into the cup matches and play better. They didn't play better, especially going into the PSG game. They didn't play good in the game before. Didn't play good in the game between the 2 legs. And for me, that's more mentality and preparation than it is. Guess what?
I think it's also the quality. Equality. You're missing 3 players that would make a difference at that level.
Yeah,
at that level.
Well, let me ask you this.
I wish that were true about losing to Man United in the cup match, right? I mean, I don't think we're going to beat Newcastle the way we played this year in those games, but that Manchester United match that we lost, that in the FA Cup. No, I think.
that was horrible.
That had nothing to do with the fact that we didn't have players. That had nothing to do with that at all. That for me, that was the preparation mindset and everything else that goes into a match. Like I talk about it all the time. DWTT, don't waste a trip. You're there. Why don't you just try to win the damn thing? Worst case scenario, you don't. But I don't feel like I felt like we didn't give ourselves opportunities to win some of these games the way that we were either managed, coached, or whatever you want. Like there was something that we just didn't do, right? And a lot of it was on us as a team, right? So that's.
But Gary, I put that all on recruitment. And if Arteta was involved in our horrible recruitment, then it's on him as well. But with what we had and the injuries that we had, the performances that we put in, to me, the players didn't put the ball in the back of the net. They had opportunities in both PSG games. They didn't put the ball in the back of the net. And Arteta's making do with having to put players in different weird situations. Partey yellow card, being suspended, things like that, where we're making do, and we still had the opportunities, and our players couldn't put it in the back of the net. Why? Because we don't have sufficient backup. We want to call ourselves one of the best teams in Europe, but the best teams in Europe have 2 full squads. Their squad on the bench is as good as their squad that starts. And we don't have that. So I put that on our recruitment. And look, if Arteta was the one saying, if we can't sign this striker, then sign nobody, then that's on him. But from everything that we've read and everything that's been said, Arteta was saying, we know what we need. We know what we need. And we just didn't get it. And then it came back to hurt us. I mean, when
it's not that easy, is it? I mean, they wanted Isak, but there's no way Newcastle were going to let him go. So
come up with something else.
But you can't. If the quality's not there to go and get halfway through the season, it's not there.
Yeah, but PSG picked up players that are helping them right now. We could have picked up those same players. Karachak or whatever his name is. Yeah. Right, he was available. I don't even know if we even looked at Kvaratskhelia. I don't think we even looked at him. You know,
he's one that had like a pre-sign thing before he even left Napoli. He was only going to PSG.
Yeah.
But a £100 million offer, he is a £100 million player. Very much.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't feel like we gave ourselves some opportunities, and either that's with like the recruitment, or in my eyes, I believe that if you need a goal, maybe you give the youngster a try.
Yeah.
Maybe you let him wear. Yeah. Maybe you let him.
Yeah.
See if he can do anything, because every time he came in for 5 to 10 minutes, he definitely showed us something. Maybe you give him 20 minutes or 15 minutes or something different than what we were doing, which was go in there and try and do something, or here's some, sympathy minutes. And he actually showed that he could provide for us. So I felt like sometimes we didn't even give ourselves a chance, and that's because we didn't put the players on the pitch that might help us. We need a goal, so what do? We switch in and out our fullbacks. Who does that?
Yeah.
Well, but then what you're saying there, Gary, there is bad tactical on-field decisions made by the manager.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep. And that's what.
And I agree with you there. In the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, Odegaard needed to come off and Nwaneri needed to come on. Give the boy a shot. That dude shoots from anywhere, and we were lacking a goal. He shoots if there's a quarter of a chance that he might get a shot off, he shoots. But sorry, big up Tony, we've got another European champion in the house. If we're just doling out these fucking titles to these tin pot trophies.
Oh boy!
No, you know what?
Salty.
The wambulance.
Hold on.
Salt and bitter lemon. Bitter lemon.
Salty.
Yeah. I don't think that way, because I think if the Conference League is a thing, all right, then any of the trophies that Arsenal won in the European environment counts as well, right? Because they're new today or they're gone from yesterday, but they still count the same, all right? It's still a European tournament that you go out there and you win, regardless of how it's set up. So I kind of feel like that's just people going after Arsenal because you know what? We don't want to count that anymore because guess what? It doesn't exist today, but it does. It did. There's a trophy that goes associated with it.
Is that better for you, Lolo, in the background?
Look at that. Wow, Tony. He's just rubbing it in. Oh, man.
Gary, is if I would do that. As if I would do that.
You probably have another one. It's not
Tony,
like
can you make that bigger? Can you make it bigger?
Oh.
I don't upset Lolo. I like the man. I don't upset him too much.
I love the man, and
Unfortunately,
it's all love, Lolo. It's all love, as they say.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I would like to say they hate us because they ain't us, but you winning trophies. We hate you because we ain't you.
Oh, fucking shit.
Finally, you brought some class to this.
You know what? Now the show's done.
How you doing, my friend?
The show
Come
is
on,
done
your
now.
eyes.
Why did you
There
bring
we
this guy
go.
on with his like?
I'm just glad that
this
you
is-
guys decided to bring a class act like tone on this show.
So why don't you? That means you have to go then, because we can't have you and him on the same.
No,
you
we can.
you kind of wipe each other out right there.
No. Be nice, Gary.
It's always a pleasure speaking to you, Gary. You know that. It's always a pleasure.
No, cool. No. I'm going after Lauren. Tony, you're good. You're good.
I just have to ask Lolo.
Not shocking.
I just have to ask Lolo though: is that actually rain, or is that kind of tears of discontentment? It's a pleasure being back on the show, I have to say, gents.
I was happy when I saw you on here.
Here he goes, singing in the
rain.
Sorry, my third floor neighbor is also an Arsenal fan, so the tears are just flying down right now. Oh my God!
I don't think that's rain. I don't think that's rain, Lolo.
All right,
Someone's telling me something else. I don't know.
The bathroom's backed up there in that level.
Okay, listen. As much as I'm defending my club and hating on Tottenham and all this, let me just say I'm here for the banter and I love it. I do love it. This hurt and emotional distress that I'm in over this is why I watch football. The hatred of Tottenham and Manchester United made me watch that fucking match, knowing that I was not going to be happy with any outcome. And you guys talking shit and West Ham fans talking shit with your trophy.
I think
it's beautiful, and I'll take it, and I'll eat it, and I'll own it. I will continue to bitch about it. I just need you to know that I love it, and I'm here for it. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. It'll all mean so much more when we finally win something before I die, hopefully.
Well, I think David will.
That was a buzzkill. Good night.
I feel bad. I can't pick on the guy now.
And it's
tumbleweed. I feel bad for the guy. I need to buy him a cheeseburger or something. I feel bad for him.
Sodom.
Yeah, but Lawrence, make sure you hold back on the pickles, because you don't want to be too sour. Yeah, we have to hold back on the pickles.
There you go.
Yeah, emotional damage. Absolutely.
I would have. Yeah. I hated both teams. Tone, I want your opinion. I would have preferred Man U over the fucking Spuds. Sorry, Spuds any day. Spuds, no way.
Leeds Starlet. Spurs, great team.
And see, that's why I hate David
gave
so
us
much.
Solomon this year. Gave us Solomon this year and got us back to the promised land. Wonderful team, Spurs.
They're also the team that sold the dodgy pitch.
David, you got to take that back. I'm sorry. Take that. No, seriously, take that back.
What back?
Everything you just said.
No, sorry. Wonderful stadium.
Take it back.
Best stadium in the world.
Yeah, it looks just like a toilet bowl. And if you're into
Tottenham also sold you that dodgy pitch.
And
you got relegated.
Did we get relegated with the dodgy pitch? I thought that was
it was
before that.
It.
Yeah, I think that was before, wasn't it? We had the dodgy pitch, didn't we?
I think it was definitely before.
I thought that was Bielsa days. First season, maybe. I don't know.
The first season that you
bygones
guys
be bygones. He lent us Solomon at 60 grand a week.
Oh my God, this guy.
You guys gonna re-sign him?
It takes 2 seconds to piss me
well,
off.
hopefully so. Maybe he'll give us a little bit of a discount, in which case they'll go even further up in my estimation.
I would say earlier on, David.
Lolo completely.
I was going to say, David, you were speaking sense earlier on, but no.
That's the look from right the windows closed, right?
The window is closed. Hey, Mark, I'm coming right down.
What? I can't hear you.
Oh, the window is closed.
Oh man. God.
Don't worry, Lolo. There's always next season, son.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's that hope.
No,
that
and that's I have to hear from Najee just about every other week. It's like, oh, Arsenal is Netflix again. Are you still watching? Next season starts in one episode. Oh my God. No, I mean, we just have to sit there in it and own it. But let me ask you guys, would you guys be happy with 17th place and a trophy?
No.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
You're right. No, what I would. No, I say it wrong. I agree. I would.
What is the difference between what Tottenham did and what Arsenal did this season?
No, I got you.
So
I think I would take
you both have qualified for Champions League,
but they got a trophy.
So it doesn't matter where you are on the standings. Doesn't matter how many points you won.
You are talking nonsense. You were talking nonsense. You're telling us you'd rather sit through 30 to 35 games of what you saw from that team because you get a trophy at the end of it.
No,
that's what you're saying.
Tottenham. No, what I'm saying is that Tottenham, regardless of where they finished in the standings, achieved exactly what Arsenal did.
You can say at the end of the day. Going into the season, if I said, "Here you go, you guys will have the worst league performance that you've ever seen. You will lose 20 plus games that season, but you get a trophy." You're gonna say, "Yep, I'll take that." No, that's exactly what happened.
No.
That's the only way.
What I'm saying is you can, if you phrase that by saying you're going to lose 20 games but qualify for the Champions League, would you take it? Absolutely. Absolutely, you will take it.
Yeah. So my question to you guys is:
so what I'm saying is regardless if you finish second or Tottenham finished 17th, it doesn't matter because they qualified for the same thing.
Hold on, Mark.
Okay, Mark. As you don't get relegated, it doesn't matter. You've won a trophy.
Exactly.
Oh,
and you've qualified.
I had that discussion
qualified for the big money.
I can tell you that, but that was the question I always had. Would you prefer? That's a good point there, David. Would you take a trophy and get relegated, or would you want to stay in the Prem and get a trophy? That's a very hard question. We debated that going through our process.
But that comes down to finances then. That's what
it does,
comes down
bro.
to finances.
But as a fan, I want to stay up in the Prem. And how much I loved our trophy, and we have one, and I know Arsenal does. I'm sorry, Lolo. But the thing was,
we've never been in that competition. We've never been in that fucking competition.
True. In the
That's why we don't have that trophy.
But don't forget with that as well. We finished 14th that season that we won that. Plus the fact in that competition, we was undefeated in that competition all the way through.
You guys were brilliant in that competition. You were brilliant in that competition.
Tony, the brilliantest comment I've heard all day. It's totally correct. That was right. We were undefeated.
Oh, because it came from the fucking West Ham fan?
No, that's he's a very smart individual. That's all I'm saying.
He could tell you he pissed on your he could tell you he pissed on your toast and you'd be like, oh,
let's not get nasty. Let's not get nasty. Let's not get nasty.
Lolo.
He's not that smart. He supports West Ham. No,
Lolo. What me and Lawrence do with our own fetishes, and that is our own thing. And we told us not making that public. We keep telling you this.
More toast? More toast?
It's already out there. It's already out there, Tony.
I know, David.
But Mark, it's saying that we accomplished the same thing is fucking
same objectives, which is to qualify.
No.
Champions League. That's what I'm saying. It's the same
because objective wise, we failed. We didn't hit our objectives.
Yeah.
Okay.
We hit our worst case scenario, which is just qualify for Champions League. So here's the
But
difference.
that's the first objective. That would be the first objective that they had at the beginning of the season.
That was Spurs' top objective.
What was the first objective of the season? To win the Prem, I thought, right?
No.
Not first objective, like bare minimum. Bare minimum.
First objective will be qualify for Europe.
Bare minimum. But the difference here, the difference here, Mark, is saying
Gotcha, that's true.
We're both in college. I studied the whole time and learned a bunch of shit, and I go do my final and I pass my final. You don't go to a single fucking class. You don't learn fuck all. And then you go take the test and you ace the test for some reason. Now, good, you got a better grade on that test than I did. And now we're at next year when we're building upon that and you've learned nothing. Yet I'm in a better place, ready to continue my learning. That's where I feel the 17th and a trophy is very different.
I don't necessarily agree with that because, that negates what Spurs might do in the offseason.
It's more guaranteed that Arsenal will be in the same spot next year than that team will be in the same situation.
You're both talking at the same time.
Sorry, my bad.
Thank you. I don't think that it is as simple.
I was hoping Gary would take over. But...
I was going to, but then your friend, but your buddy's with Mark. I better step back.
I'll tell you what, Gary. I will relinquish the floor to the Arsenal.
I didn't want to get in trouble with the host.
Why yet again they are the bridesmaid and not the bride. And justify the fact that they had a more successful season than Tottenham. Go right ahead, because you didn't win anything. You qualified.
Mark, a guy that's letting somebody else speak.
And Tottenham,
you're not letting them speak.
Exactly, John.
I mean, Mark, ask yourself that fucking question. Like, are you honestly saying that you would rather be in Spurs' position going into next season?
No,
he's not.
Is anybody fucking saying that?
No.
Is anybody saying that?
All I'm saying is.
I'm trying to hear all you're saying.
Different path, same destination.
Yeah, but it's
not. But it's not, Mark.
But then tomorrow it comes and you're like,
what did you achieve this season?
Progress.
How is
Mark,
second place 3 years in a row progress?
If you don't win the league,
can I talk? Let me talk. There is progress because we finished. We not only did we finish second in a year where anybody.
I'm listening. I'll be right back.
Anybody could have had second this year because it was up for grabs, but we finished there anyways, right? But only that. But then we did play in two semifinals, right? Compared to last year and this year, there is improvement in the squad. Long term, we're better suited to go into the Champions League more than that team.
Turn off your microphone.
What?
Turn off your microphone.
What?
Lolo,
What?
Turn off your microphone.
Oh,
You're
is he?
Yes.
You're pissing your season away.
I thought he was pouring a drink.
I was like,
I'm pouring a cocktail.
No, I don't. Nobody wants that drink.
I'm pouring a cocktail inside.
Anybody, if that just doesn't sound right at all.
This is not the first time Lolo's done this as well. Yes.
No,
I've been guilty as charged before myself.
if there's anybody out there, do not take his drink. He's going to offer it to you. Do not take it. Do not take it, please.
Do not take it.
If it's that bottle underneath the cab seat in there, yes, definitely don't take that bottle. Definitely do not take that bottle.
Can I just say
that
something?
is not Mountain Dew.
One thing you've got to look at.
David, you go ahead.
One thing you've got to look at is where both teams started this year.
Look at that.
And Arsenal had a far better starting position than Spurs did.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, Spurs was never.
Spurs is very much a team, a rebuilding thing. You know, I mean, they've had Gray playing the whole season.
But David, I got a question for you on that. Do you think Ange should have another year? You think it's more the players than Ange and his philosophy, or is it the players or lack thereof? What do you think?
I think he definitely should be there next year.
I agree.
And I think Spurs need to spend more money on better quality players, and they need to hope that they don't have the horrendous injuries that they had at the beginning of this season, because without a doubt, I've never known a Premier side have the injuries that they've had this year. Never known another club have the same extent of injuries that they had.
I kind of disagree a bit there. We've all had some heavy injuries before. Give me some prime examples.
We all have injuries, but not like they have.
Give me some prime examples of some injuries
Spurs
that
lost
stopped
their entire back line and goalie injury for like 3 months.
They had
Arsenal would not have survived that either.
Playing centre half.
But if you're a team
for the first half of the season,
if you think you're the Spuds and you're a champion team, you wouldn't be dropping to 17th. You'd have a deep bench if you're going to spend the money.
No, if they're all injured, they haven't got the depth. That's the whole point. It's the same as if West Ham. If West Ham lost their back line,
West Ham doesn't have the financial backing. So if we don't have it, we won't have the depth. We know that. We already realize that. Our things that me and Tony talked about, we need to rely more on our academy players because we will not pay the money. We'll have.
But Spurs are a team in transition.
I got you, bud.
I'd like to ask Lawrence, how much did you pay for Furpong? That's spending money.
For who?
You paid money for him. It just didn't work out because he got injured.
Furkrug? The German?
Sorry, not Furpong.
That's okay. I didn't understand.
I was like, when did they get Frimpong? When did they get Frimpong? Jesus Christ.
Y'all know what I meant.
No,
we didn't. I don't think anybody did.
Everything that comes out of that mouth, nobody knows what it is. All right, not
nobody. I'll tell you what.
And know what? It's a
personal bullshit.
That's a quasi
justifying being a loser.
It's a quasi
driving Lola to smoke.
And I'm going to give you a half credit for that one because you're right. He got hurt quick into it, and it was actually he was playing for Germany for that. But then he never really proved himself. And Tony can probably tell you, he's been a seesaw, and we like him. I loved his passion. A couple of interviews because he wanted to wake up the team and say, "You know what? Screw you guys. You got to play for passion." But he's never totally materialized. And for West Ham, that I don't want to speak for Tony. Is that our problem is we have not finished. We don't have enough pace in the end to finish off on that stuff. So Fulkrug is still, to me, is somebody that I still would say, you know what? I still want to see what he can figure out. If you can get the right pieces around and you get a little more pace, I don't know. I'm not going to discard him yet. So I don't think he's a total loss. I think injuries did affect it, but it's not different than some other ones, though.
I'm going to be really mean here, and I'm going to just bring up one other point.
Shocker.
No, nothing to do with West Ham. You've got enough problems. Arsenal.
Oh no!
Where's the progress been?
Mm-hmm.
You tell me where the progress has been, because they were finished second last year, but they finished second with about 16, 18 points more. They've regressed.
But you're just talking about one aspect
of
football,
David.
But you're only just talking about the Premier League. You're not looking at we just went. That team won a cup match, and we're saying there's progress in the cups that we played in. Right? Is semifinals in the Champions League and semifinals in a League Cup? Is that not progress compared to what we did last year?
Okay, I'll take the Champions League.
If we're going to talk about, but it's progress regardless, because if we won it, that's progress from not winning it, right?
No, but you didn't win it. You didn't get to the final.
No, the question. No, you said
forget the League
progress
Cup.
is doing better than what you did.
But you fans, it's your progress.
Just forget the League Cup.
You didn't get another year. You didn't get one.
The League Cup, you play your second teams.
Nobody does that. I mean, I wish that were true, but I don't think so. Teams aren't just winning it with their backups. They're not. I mean, as much as you say that, I don't think they are.
I don't think it's progress.
But David, to chime in on your question, I just listened to you throw a pity party for Tottenham's injuries and explain why they are where they are.
Saka was a major injury for you.
Now, look at Arsenal's injuries.
Yep, I agree.
And yes, I blame this on recruiting because we are a club that should be able to have backups for that. But when literally our front line goes down, the backups go down, and we're having to make shit up. And we're having to play the end of the season, the Champions League quarterfinals, the Champions League semifinals with our backup center back, with our makeshift striker who is a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Can we not give Arteta and Arsenal a little bit of praise?
No,
for
because
not completely bottling everything.
Because they've been at a top level for so much longer.
With our team.
Consistently.
And we were that
so
way.
So if it's down to the recruitment and the players, I mean, earlier on, Gary saying about, the Arsenal players not quite having, if you like, the desire. Well, that's all part and parcel of it. Unfortunately, in the Champions League, Arsenal turned up in the wrong games. They turned up in the games against Madrid where they were superb. But when it really came to the crunch, they didn't turn up.
Yep.
Whether that's down to the manager or the players or a combination of both.
And you look at those games. Once again, we're already hurting with injuries, and then we lose probably our best midfielder all season. One of them, Thomas Partey, who had a fantastic season, and he's out that game. Well, now who do we put? Well, our fucking striker has to go fill that role. And we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And then, we get them back for our full fit squad was still playing with our defensive midfielder as a striker.
But you're talking about one or two players. Spurs had the whole of their back line out.
And the whole of their back line is shit.
That's why they are where they are. And they lost, one of the best
they are where they are.
No.
They are where they are.
They lost one of the best goal scorers in modern football over to Bayern Munich.
That was the year before.
They signed
one this year.
Yeah, he was out the year before, but they've never replaced him.
And they signed one. They have Richarlison, Solanke, Brennan Johnson, Kulishevsky, Son.
Because
what are you talking about?
Injured for that match.
If we had Dom Solanke instead of fucking Mikel Moreno, you don't think we get?
Yeah, Solanke hasn't produced.
I agree with that.
Son's been injured. Son's off form. You can't say Son.
He would go to the Spuds and do well. And
Son is not the player that he was.
No, exactly.
So here's the difference, David. They had a ton of injuries.
Yeah.
And Ange didn't shift. Ange did not make a shift and continued to play the way that he was playing with those players. And he fucked that up. So give Arteta a little bit of fucking credit.
Why?
Because he made adjustments and found a way to keep us from dropping down to 6th place. So at this point, 2nd place was an accomplishment because we were fucking it up.
But you've got better players.
Lolo, what you're saying is Arteta was more thinking, right now we're not going to win the Prem, so my goal is to stay in the championship in the top 3.
The goal was to not lose 2nd and to go to the finals of the Champions League, and it didn't happen. We didn't put the ball in the back of the net.
So on that argument then there, Lolo, if you think about, like Zanzi's put he's put all about all your players that have been injured, but if you look at it in that case then, if Newcastle didn't have the injuries they did, they would have been 2nd.
Good shout.
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly they would have been 2nd, guaranteed.
The one game that Isak didn't play, we beat them.
Exactly.
They beat us 3 other times this season. So yeah, you're probably right. And maybe it's because Eddie Howe didn't make that adjustment.
He was ill at the time.
So as much as you guys want to harp on Arteta not making the right decisions, let's also say we could have been a lot worse this season. We probably should have been a lot worse this season.
Yeah. But Lolo, it's just not us talking about it. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that are like down Arteta. Like he's not bringing it to him. He's not.
Those are the loud ones. Those are the loud ones.
Lolo sounds like a 1930s radio commentator.
Lawrence, I don't know if you know, but our club is a very old club, and we have the majority of our actual supporters are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and they're not on YouTube. They're not on YouTube doing fucking things. It's the younger guys who are out here that just want the Chelsea switch the manager, just win something now. Yes, that's good. However, I want to be proud of my club on a yearly basis, on a daily basis.
Okay. Can I just make something clear? I'm not putting Arteta down. What I'm saying is he hasn't achieved what he should have done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is
for the
different.
for the expectations of Arsenal, and that's it. For the expectations of the fans, he's not performed to the level that you guys wanted, and that's
now
true.
Okay. So let me ask you.
Fair comment.
Let me ask you. Year one, Arteta coming in, a manager with no managerial experience, coming in year one to a major club.
Yeah.
What were the expectations?
You tell me.
Were the expectations for him to win the league, to win the Champions League, to make us competitive? What were the expectations? The only reason we're having this conversation is because of that season where we weren't supposed to do anything, and then we challenged for the league. We didn't get it, and we were first place for 200 days or whatever, and then we bottle it. So the expectations of Arteta hasn't done what he was brought in to do. I mean, when he was brought in, it was like just another fucking holding manager. It was another holding manager until we can sort of right the ship a little bit.
Didn't they win the FA Cup under Arteta?
He won it that first season.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was, as Mark says, it wasn't his team, and it was a bomb.
The one thing he did in that half season was he played to the strengths of the players that he had, right? With the ultimate goal afterwards is to start to build his own squad and play the way he wanted, right? So he did and for me, after that half season, I thought we would come in the next season and still take what we have and utilize it to the best of its abilities, right? You don't have the defense you want, you don't have the attackers you want. How about you maintain that same mentality until you get all the players? You can't He's got a plan. Like I said, it's written in pen. It's written in pen, right? And it doesn't change. Like, you know what? We're going to lose Saka. We're still going to play the same way. We're going to lose Saliba. We're still going to play the same way. We're going to lose Gabriel. We're still going to play the same way. You can't do that. You have to adjust to the players and the skill set that you have. He's still, when he came in, I said I didn't want him because it's going to take him a while to figure this thing out, right? Like most managers that we all compare him to, they're sitting at 10 to 20 years of experience, right? They know how to get the best out of their team. He's not there yet, And so for me, we're behind the 8 ball there, and the team isn't supplying him what I don't believe they're supplying him what he needs. Either the top players, or the club, either the top players or the top assistants or whatever it is. Like this is if you look at a player you bring in, a young player you bring in, right? You think he's going to be able to, like Saka, should he be able to compete with Salah? Nobody believes that, right? Even now, the way he's playing, he's still not going to be at a Salah level, right? They play on the same side of the pitch. You can tell the difference between one and the other, right? Everybody's like, who's the second best player in that position on the pitch? And it's like Saka. But is he anywhere near Salah? No, because he doesn't have the years of experience. So for me,
what was that?
What's going on?
There's a cue ball. The thing on that, Gary, when you for a club of
I'll be right back. I have to take a spuds. I mean,
you know what? You don't have to announce that. No, you don't have to.
Everything offends Gary. Look, there's two things, that have been said on this show. One was many weeks ago, and it was about Arteta and Arteta. I'm not really sure who it was. I think it was Anthony. That was on the show, and Anthony, I know you're out there and you're listening, so maybe you can back me up on this. But you had said, and I firmly believe this, is that is that Arteta has a solid game plan. But when things go wrong and things go sideways, he is unable to adjust and have an idea of how to overcome the adversity.
I just said that.
I was
repeating what I said.
Fair enough, but that's been stuck in my head.
Different words.
That's been stuck in my head.
But it's the same thing.
Plagiarism.
That guy went to Chat Gary and put a question and got my answer and used it again.
I think also, okay, fine. Here's an original thought. Damn it. Lolo just not so long ago, maybe like 10, 20 minutes ago, had said, it's like, why doesn't Arsenal get the respect that that they deserve? Why doesn't Arteta get the respect that he deserves? And I think it comes down to this, and I think it's because
give David a 5, and you just moved me.
I think it's because of the Arsenal fans, and the Arsenal fans always have an excuse. For the last 3 years, the excuse has been injuries. The last 3 years, it's been an excuse of this. We didn't recruit. We didn't do that. We didn't do this. You know what I would love and put me in the camp that would give Arsenal respect is we lost because we weren't good enough. And guess what? Against PSG, you weren't good enough. In this league this year, you weren't good enough. You have the depth. You have a small squad, yes. And that's the question.
Is that what we're supposed to say every time? Every time we're supposed to say that, right? That's the answer you want to hear every time. So
I would love to hear an Arsenal fan, we lost because we weren't good enough. And I've never heard that.
You're out of your mind, Mark, because I said that earlier.
Bald guy, he's
Mark,
always got an excuse for something.
I said that earlier. I said when Gary came on, and I said we were not good enough, and we lost that match. We were not good enough. But to blame it all on Arteta is what pisses me off.
Blaming it on Arteta.
No. I know you're not. But the conversation is always Arteta is not good enough. Look at what they did in the and I'm like, guys, to be honest, we had plenty of opportunities against PSG.
But Lolo, let me say something.
We just didn't put it in the back of the net.
But let me say something.
Is that Arteta? No, that's us not being good enough.
And that's the same as Amarin. For Scum the other night against the Studs.
And my whole thing about
they should have won that game, but they didn't.
In Mark's defense, he only plagiarizes things that are important.
but like the reason I keep harping on how shitty that game was is because even the goal that happened was the shittiest, weirdest little like bing, bang, bang, bang. Okay, it goes in somehow. Cool. Does that make Tottenham any better than Manchester United? No,
they scored a goal. It does because they scored a goal.
Yeah. I mean, you have to give it to them. But I mean, it's not like they were incredible all game and they fucking destroyed Man United. Man United could have tied it up at any point. But
for me, that was luck, right? That was luck. The way that ball bounced, right? The ball bounced in their way. It's luck. There's luck in every season. Any player, any team that wins, there's always a little bit of luck that you get. Ball falls your way, the ball bounces your way.
Exactly.
And if the ball doesn't bounce your way in the right games, guess what? You don't win those 1-0 games like that. It goes to extra time, and then maybe somebody really makes a mistake, and then you go right. So
I can tell you this now, Gary. All Man United fans will say if Luke Shaw wasn't playing, that goal wasn't going to be scored because it bounced off his chest, and that's how Johnson.
It could have been no other player would have been in that same position, right?
End of. That's it, basically. Just to summarise, going back on the argument you guys are doing there
for their last win.
Let Tone talk.
What you're saying here. Let's go back to when you had George Graham. After George Graham, in came Wenger, and also Wenger got some success because basically he was going off of George Graham's team. Once he started losing them players, apart from a couple of competitions he won, it deteriorated from that point onwards. He then went, in comes Arteta, and also, for a club of the stature of Arsenal, was that the right decision to bring in an unknown?
It was a
I said that already.
You know,
crazy
You guys are repeating. Everybody's using Chat
I've not
Gary.
finished it. I've not finished it, Gav. I've not finished it. There's a point to all this. Yeah, there's a point
Unfinished,
to this.
Gary. Stop talking.
So when you look at the fact of Arteta coming in, he then kind of won the FA Cup plus 2 trophies. Don't forget, you know, them other 2 trophies as well, as he said, and with the Emery team. And again, as it filtered down, he's brought some good players in, and he's got to a certain point. But this is where this is where it's gonna kind of, close your ears now, Arsenal people. In certain respects, what has happened here is what we saw with Pochettino at Spurs. He got them to a certain point, and then he plateaued out. And that's what we're seeing with Arteta.
Maybe
he has got to that point, and he cannot get above that. We already know. Mark's already said it. In certain games, when it goes south, he has no plan B, no plan C, and no plan Z.
I said that.
Gary said that, but then Anthony said that before.
Have you got trademark and copyright on them comments, Gary? That's all I'm saying, It can't be freely used. Have you heard of that thing? Freedom of speech. We are in the UK. We still have freedom of speech. I don't know what it's like with Trump now in the US.
Whoa. Why did you have to bring up that name?
Thanks, brother. Now we're going to get arrested.
You started this, Gary. It was going so well until that point. I'm joking. But
can I just interject there a little bit, Tony?
Yes, mate. Of course you can. See, that's the thing, David. At least we have this understanding. We can do this.
In defense of my friend Arsene Wenger,
good job.
He wasn't given the funds. They were rebuilding the stadium. They never went into debt. Blah 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 blah. So he did really well with what he had at the time.
Yeah.
And had they not been moving stadiums and he had the money, I would imagine that he probably would have won a few more things. That's all I'm saying on that.
And his experience, what?
20, thank you, David.
20 plus years of experience at that point, when they're like handcuffing him and he's still able to accomplish things, is what we're trying to expect Arteta to do. He can't do that. He doesn't have the know-how. Not right now. There's not too many managers in their first 6 years take over a big club like an Arsenal and have the success that we're asking him to do. Right? Yeah. The only coach that's done that is Pep, and he just happened to have a Messi sitting there ready to go when he got there. Like nobody else has done it. It's not that easy, right? And that's why I start this off with I didn't want him, because we're not going to be able to get there until he's there. Even you give him the tools, he's still not using them right sometimes, right?
Also, so he had to clear the decks.
Yeah.
He had to clear the decks.
You're asking a young manager to do that, right?
A young manager people like that.
Yeah, a young manager can't do that. He can't handle an Aubameyang, right? That's why he had to let him go. He can't handle a Guendouzi. That's why that player is gone as well. Like he can't handle those players that are going to pretty much say no to you with their actions.
No, but that's how you handle them.
Yeah,
because he's the manager.
But don't forget, on that, David, that you got to think. This is the thing, though. You're saying that, but he was a coach.
Yeah.
So a coach coaches players.
Yeah.
And really, he should have the best. He should have the best opportunity to get the best out of those players. The manager manages the team. The coach is what actually kind of does the actual movement and
but
else.
You don't have that now. It's a blurring of lines, isn't it? Because the manager used to go and do the recruitment and buy the players, and that doesn't happen nowadays.
It's changed. It has changed.
Well, only the rare exceptions. Rare exception it does.
It is changed, and he did the right thing. He persisted with the Boomerang for a while, and then it was a case of nah.
But now you guys got to realize that.
And what did the Boomerang do when he went on elsewhere? He didn't do anything. So, he was.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the re-sign and how they handled it afterwards, because it was almost like we're going to keep our best player, but we're not going to actually help him out. He needed some help and we didn't get it, and then he became basically obsolete with the way that we were going to play. I mean, it's the same thing happened with Ozil, right? Ozil was there. Good player, had a certain skill set, but guess what? That skill set didn't match what Arteta wanted. Eventually, he was kind of walked out the door as well.
Hey guys, I want you guys to hold on. We got
we got another trophy winner.
Oh no! Look all this. You know what? I'm gonna say this now. I hate this show. There's only 2 people on this show with trophies, and the rest of you guys are like joining in like you won something. What is that all about?
Shut
Can
your
we
mouth.
get
What is that all- what is that all about?
The tune on?
No, he doesn't even care that he won the trophy. Look at him. He doesn't care. Right? Tell him.
Oh, you should
Tell him,
care.
Dirty. Tell him, Dirty Chris. Right? You don't care.
What's up,
Dirty
Chris?
Chris.
Welcome to the Stoop.
So
Stoop hanging like a.
I'm happy.
Very good to see you,
I'm
Chris.
happy to win a trophy because I don't think I think the league is going to be a lot more competitive next year. So
Lolo, how you feel about that?
About what?
Can we let Chris talk for a second?
Well,
should
I
have been 3 London clubs winning European trophies this year. We got one already. It's probably going to be a
That's
second.
not helpful, Chris. That's not helpful, Chris.
I'm good.
All right.
Imagine
Whatever,
next week
whatever
with
you, that
Nazi
you're
on.
done. Cut him off. John, let him go.
Yeah.
But Chris, can we
look
formally
terrible.
say?
We look terrible since we've clinched the league, but
Yeah,
Oh.
because you don't need to.
yeah, it's kind of.
You don't need to do
We had, a
anything.
chance, we had a chance to finish at 90 points or above, and we might finish with 83 now.
Yeah, but if I was you guys, I'd be like, let's lose every single game to make that second place team think they could have won it. Like,
Well,
fuck
Arteta
them.
certainly thinks so.
I think it was a good year for Liverpool to win it, I have to say.
We're
Good
going
year
for the
for
Wolves.
the Slot to come in because it hasn't been a great season, has it, really?
No,
You know,
it was a good
Not
year
at
for
all.
them.
it's a good year to win it.
Yeah, I can't
You
believe
still have to win it. You know.
I'm just shocked every time I see Spurs and United at 17 and 16. That was the Europa
Yeah.
League final.
No, I can we just give Arteta a little bit of respect for saying
No.
this is a shit year, so like I don't want to win it on a shit year.
Not really.
Win-
Because-
No, I don't. I know.
Because
I
then-
mean, I'm your friend and all, Lolo, but I don't care what the
When
year is.
did Arteta say
No. I want it to be
Yeah.
another crap year next year, and we
I
get
love
it.
you, no
You know?
shit.
But
I
Gary,
only want to win it when it's difficult.
No, I know. I don't.
Gary, Gary.
You know what? I want every team to implode, and then we win it. I don't care.
But
We still
Gary,
get
if
the
we
trophy
won
at
it,
the
if we
end.
won it this year, all we would hear is that it was the shittiest season
You know what?
ever.
I don't care, but
That's
I'll be
true,
having
too.
that trophy, right?
Get-
I can't
It's
hear
all
you.
about
My
trophies.
head is in this
It's all about
trophy.
trophies.
I can't hear you. Nah.
Gary,
No, you might-
Gary wants a season where Arsenal has 38 wins and every other team has 36 draws. Like,
There you
Yep.
when-
There you go. That's what we want.
I don't care how it happens.
They all draw each other.
We
We
just
win every
spent
game.
we just spent a whole hour going. It doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you walk out with a trophy. And all of a sudden now you guys want me to go. No. I want to go to the last game of the season, the last 5 minutes, and we score. Nah. What in the world is
The
that?
conference trophy.
This is my 9/11 football trophy back in many years ago.
Are we showing
9/11
up
is that like that? Is that the
what we're
year?
doing?
You talking about the
No,
year in
It was
9/11?
when I was between 9 and 11 years old there, Gary.
They had metal back then.
Oh my god!
That's what I'm talking about. Did you play with? You played with rocks, right?
That's mine from
John-
last
The
year.
rock
Play with
chiseled
rocks.
like- you chiseled the football, right?
Oh, look at this guy. Brings out a long stick.
Now that's a trophy.
What's that for, Mark? Is that for Liverpool?
I got several of those upstairs.
Brooklyn
Mark
Brooklyn
bought that
Queen
'cause he
Bronx American Pool Association
Okay.
Championship.
I should have
Mark
guessed.
bought that because he knows the Wolves won't ever get one.
Some of us just
Hey,
throw
you know
ours
what?
in the drawer.
I don't have to have this conversation because
Right.
we have no expectations, and we just
And you live up to them.
the jubilation of
Oh,
not
Lord,
being
yeah.
relegated is far more
Yeah.
than what Arsenal will experience being second place.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
You know,
It's
second
true.
place is the disappointment.
Yeah.
Wolves not being relegated is fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, boss.
I can-
You gotta
I
look-
can
you gotta
relate
look
to
at
that.
I guess that's what I got to deal with.
No,
You
I
know?
can relate. I
Wolves
can
gotta go
relate
for
to
an
that.
FA Cup. If Palace can win an FA Cup, Wolves can win an FA Cup.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think so.
Had Cunha not had a fucking meltdown, who
Yeah.
knows what might have happened.
True comment there. True comment.
Mark, you wanted to bench him the rest of the season.
Oh, that's another
I
one.
absolutely did.
You did.
Because guess what?
Yeah.
We were winning without him. And now when he does play, he's super uninterested.
Well, when
he's
he does play, he'll
he
be wearing a red
another
shirt,
minute.
right? He won't even
And
be
he's
wearing
gonna
it.
he's
He'll
gonna
be
go
wearing a yellow
to he's
top.
gonna go to United and be a loser. You know? And good on him, and we'll get $65 million. I don't know.
Pero
Are you giving cigarettes to kids?
Yeah.
A little kid come down the
Didn't he
stairs.
just say how much?
Hey.
Didn't he say how much? And the
John,
kid's like,
Lucy's on the stoop.
John, don't
I
worry,
swear,
they're just
Lolo.
low tar.
Lolo, that person actually say this is a little light. I think that's what I heard.
What?
I heard somebody say this is a little light.
I don't know, man. I don't know what you're saying.
What's going on?
You had cigarettes.
Your customer just said that's a little light.
No.
All right, I'll be
No,
right
y'all
back.
are just y'all just don't remember what it's like when I'm out on the stoop. We got pizza deliveries, we got guys asking for beers and fucking cigarettes, and
Is it
yeah,
raining
it's
there?
fine. It
Nice
stops,
tears.
but
Nice
I have
tears, Chris.
I have the tears of Arsenal fans falling on my head. But
You gotta finish second. Finish strong.
we are second. We can't
No matter
lose
what.
second. We can't lose second place.
Even if
Wait, I mean, we can if City score like
could.
10 goals.
I mean, look at that.
8-0.
14 draws. That's what's killed you.
8-0.
14 draws.
just clinch
8-0
second.
and
Clinch
we
second
lose.
with the draw.
Yeah, well, with a draw against Southampton, 0-0, so that Ramsdale gets a clean sheet on his last day, and he moves to United. Yeah, and then relegates United next year. It's all part of the plan.
So there's still so what? 5 teams go to the Champions League, but that includes Spurs, right?
Yep.
So
17th place. Just call them by their real name. 17th place. Below fucking West Ham.
17th.
Oh, Jesus.
I think that's great, actually. When you look at that.
It's bad for football, but everybody's saying it's great. All right, I get it.
Why is it bad for football?
It is.
What do they do?
Why?
When they win, they blow
Why is it
teams
bad for
out.
football
And when they
that-
lose, they lose
Because
by 1.
it's bad for
team
football
having
because Nottingham Forest deserves to be in the Champions League more than Tottenham.
Well, no, they clearly don't.
They
Well,
clearly do.
Forest still has a chance.
Let's see where Forest end up next year. They'll be in what, the Europa next year?
Well,
That's-
No, I think
Or are they in the
They could-
conference?
Well, I mean,
They-
it could be
yeah.
it could be in any one of the 3 because they could still finish 4th. I think.
yeah.
Yeah. They play Chelsea
Okay.
to finish the season.
Yeah, Chelsea. Yeah.
So they're likely
Yeah.
to be in the conference then.
Well, at least beating Chelsea, like if they do, Chelsea can't take that place, right?
No, they jump.
No.
They jump Chelsea. So it's all about Villa. If Villa and Chelsea lose, then Nottingham Forest has a
Yeah,
chance.
can you go back to the top of the table? So it's so
Yeah.
tight between
Yeah.
2 and 7.
And Newcastle get
Okay, so it's
Really, 3.
West Ham.
Forest against Chelsea then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's at a draw, and Forest won't be getting in the Champions League, will they?
Nope.
How many spots are going to be available for Europe? Is it like the
I think-
top 8?
Top 7.
7.
Top 7?
So they basically Forest needs to win, and then they need Newcastle and Villa to not win. Forest
What
wins,
does-
no teams draw.
Actually, it's not 7, isn't it? Because I thought they said if since that team
Well, now
won,
you got the Spurs as well now as well.
yeah, if that
Right,
team's
but-
in there.
but-
I think
but-
there's no team in. There's only one team in Europa. My understanding
But
is what I
with-
heard. You could,
With Newcastle
fellas,
winning,
fellas,
what do they
one-
get?
1 second. I'm gonna run upstairs. It's starting to get dark and cold out here, so I'll see you guys in a minute.
Okay.
all right.
A minute.
So Chelsea
Thanks for the warning.
wins or not Chelsea, but Newcastle wins the Carabao Cup.
Yeah. So
What did they get for that? They get
You're in
Europa
Europa
League?
automatically.
Europa Conference or League?
Oh, because Palace has a spot too.
Palace has a spot.
Yeah, they're both in the. They're both qualified.
Only one team will get into Europa this year because of the way it played out. Because as you said, Crystal Palace is in there, so there's only one team going into Europa outside of Palace right now. So somebody's going to get bumped.
Well, Villa will go in.
Yeah, well, they have to be if Villa. I think if Villa draws,
if they finish in sixth, do they not go in?
Good question.
I mean, it's like super convoluted as far as I'm concerned. I get a little lost as far as like with all the different cups and who qualifies for what by winning and what happens from there. You know, I mean, it was just like when Arsenal got
championship, then Europa for the next.
No, it's more than that this year.
Yeah, they changed. They changed it, didn't they?
Yeah, so seventh place doesn't get anything.
No,
really.
Yeah,
because 12 and 7
because it's all so far down.
Because we got some players, some teams outside of the. They get in. Is that what it is?
I mean, that could be sneaky.
Like Palace. Where's Palace in the table?
They're 12.
And they get in. Yeah, that's why. That's why.
Well, they get in because they won.
No, I got you. But then does that push out like you normally? Is it? And please correct me. Is it the top 7? Top 7, you get into something. Correct normally.
It all depends on who wins the domestic cups.
Well, that's what
usually a top 7 team wins a domestic cup. So
yeah.
I have a question for y'all, and this is something that's been kind of brought up a few times in my kind of following the news and the press conferences and whatnot. Recently, I think it was Pep who had talked about that if he's forced to carry a bigger squad, that he'll quit. Is there a benefit to carry a smaller squad? Especially when you are playing in multiple leagues. If you're playing in the Premier League, obviously you're playing in the Premier League, but if you're playing in Europe as well, or you're advancing into some of the later stages of cup play, is there a benefit? It doesn't seem to me that there is one. It seems like you would want a little larger squad.
Players happy.
Yeah,
but I don't understand the question about how do you keep a smaller club when you should have. Isn't there a maximum amount of players that you can have on a squad that are like ready to, like, say when you have your starting lineup, not the guys on the side or your academy guys, who you can put on the pitch and your subs? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I don't know because, like I said, you know, it's like you hear managers talk about playing like I want to deal with a smaller club.
I think that's
a smaller roster, a smaller
Mark.
I could be
small squad.
I could be stretching out, and Tony, you can jump in. It might be who he's willing to play. Am I wrong, Tone? Or is
no? Mark's what he's saying. He's referring to the size. You know, he wants to have a smaller squad, but you've got to think at the end of the day, you've got 5 subs. You've got you've got 11 people on the pitch, and you can only have 25 people on your list. Chelsea had 50. Chelsea had like 52. Obviously, they had to try and reduce it.
I got you.
So when you look at something like that, and it is. I mean, I'm going to jokingly say it, but if you look at Arsenal, they have got a smaller squad, and you can see where it's cost them because of that in that respects.
Right.
You know, but if you have too big of a squad, I mean, not being funny, if you look at, for instance, even if you do semi-pro football, Sunday football, grassroots football, you know, if you have too many players, you can't please them all. And when you think the problem with Pep, because he does that heavy rotation all the time, doesn't matter if he pays £100 million for a player, he's going to rotate that player. You know, and you can't keep everyone happy. And you can see how players are. They'll be disgruntled and that. They want to move on. They're not going to play as well. So having a bigger squad is not always great to have. But if you're kind of successful and you've got these cup competitions and that, a bigger squad is beneficial in that respects. But if you're like us, you know, like a Wolves, and obviously even in certain respects Leeds, because obviously they're going to progress as they come on, a smaller squad is more beneficial for us. because you can manage it better.
Good shout, buddy. Good shout, Tom.
And that comes down to recruitment as well, because as you've seen, City's recruitment hasn't panned out for them. They spent a lot of money.
Arsenal has a small squad, but they
you know what, Chris? I don't want to hear it. Whatever you're about to say, I really.
I love you, Chris. What do you say?
Nobody wants to hear that.
Chris, what do you
Nobody wants to hear that.
I want to hear it, Chris.
No. I hear you, but you can't hear anything.
I couldn't hear Gary with a snuggle on.
Take your airing piece and turn it up a little bit. You can't hear what's going on here. Oh man. No, but what I was saying is, what I was saying is, anyways, is I believe City's recruitment is punished them in the last number of years. I mean, they spent $100 million on Grealish. I don't think that played out the way they expected, right? So and you know what? Money doesn't grow on trees, even though it does for them.
Yeah, that Holland guy was a bum.
Nah.
And the Mammoth guy, whatever they spent on him, what is it, 80 million? He's a bust.
Yeah.
See what happens when they can't beat Holland, though? You go dry.
No, but you can't replace a KDB, and that's been one of their problems, right? They haven't found that KDB. I mean, Wirtz would be that guy, right?
Rodri as well, Gary.
I think we can all agree that Rodri was their downfall.
No, but like,
I like that.
But through the middle, you still don't have a KDB. You need the Rodri, you need the KDB. I mean, that's when they were moving, right? That's when they were
Kevin
shaking.
De Bruyne
basically
hasn't been the same since.
No, but he's getting old. But they haven't found an answer.
League final.
Not that
you know,
but no, it's Rodri.
Where is Kevin De Bruyne going? That's what I want to know.
The U.S. He's coming to the United States.
Do you think so?
He'll get a huge payday.
He's still got quality in the Prem, though. Somebody's going to pick him up.
He can't start for you. What are you going to do with a player making all that money sitting on your bench?
I think he does like the Chicago Fire.
Insulting to him and his quality. I think he's still got a lot to give to a squad, and he'll be in the Prem. So don't count out him. I really like him. I think he's still
that's a big stretch. He's not going to work no matter what. He works at
not
City.
Not the same since he got taken out by Rudiger.
No.
Absolutely not the same. So what do we got? We got like a half hour left. We're waiting for Lolo to get back on. I'd like to turn attention to tomorrow's championship or the championship final. We got Sunderland. We got Sunderland versus the Blunts. Sheffield United.
You need to be watching that game, Lawrence.
I'm actually going to be watching this one, and I'm going to be rooting for. I'm throwing Premier League away tomorrow. My team's on the beach. Everybody, it's all been decided. I think Sunday has like Chelsea and Nottingham Forest, so I'll be watching that on Sunday. But this is going to be a fun game to watch. As I read, the most lucrative final in all of football. There's like $100 million at stake here, or something like that. David, can you confirm that?
Who's the bigger club?
Oh, Sunderland.
Sheffield.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunderland. I think so.
Sunderland, without a doubt.
Okay. Yeah, Sunderland.
I got 1-2 Sunderland.
Massive club.
Is Sheffield Wednesday bigger than Sheffield United in Sheffield?
Yes, they are. They are, but don't ask a Sheffield United fan that, because you won't get the answer.
I remember when the show first started, Sheffield United was actually pretty good. I want to say they finished like 8th that season.
9th.
And we were talking about Sheffield United as just Sheffield, and we got like a very scathing email about it's not Sheffield, it's Sheffield United. You have to acknowledge that you guys are failing at every level.
Isn't the first?
And I don't even know if that's how their voice sounded, but
isn't the first organized club like Sheffield FC? Like it's another club.
I thought it was Preston North End.
Sheffield.
It's like Sheffield FC and like
Sheffield Football Club. Yeah, Sheffield Football Club were the original.
Because I remember Pele,
but now they don't play. And Hallam is part an area within Sheffield.
Yeah,
but they now play somewhere in Derbyshire because they kept on losing their ground. I mean, they're a very low level non-league side, but so they still exist as well. I think Hallam are the oldest football club, but Sheffield are the oldest associated football club or something like that. But yeah.
I just remember something. It was Cell, because I think it's like Sheffield is 1850. Sheffield FC is like 1857 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like in 2007, I think they had Pele come to their stadium to celebrate like the 150th year.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's just an insane idea that there are clubs that are almost 100.
Did he lace them up?
Huh?
Did Pele lace them up or what?
He probably scored 3.
And how old was he at the time? 75?
John, where the hell are you at right now? Don't look at your normal setup.
I'm in Romania.
Oh, that's right. I forgot, buddy. I forgot about that.
Well, your mind isn't all there.
He's there on business.
I love to hate John.
So as our kind of resident English football experts, David and just walk us through why we want to watch
David's
this
an
game.
expert. Oh my God!
You want to watch this game because, it's different reasons. As you say, it's potentially the most lucrative one-off game in football because it's worth so much to the winner. They will get they're not going to get more than other clubs. They're going to get 200 million pounds, basically.
Jesus. And that's on an installment plan, right?
Yeah. It's because they get what everybody else gets in the Premier. That's the sort of crazy money that Premier teams get all the time. Even crazier, of course, is the fact that they're going to get that money, but they can't spend all of it because of the way the PSR rules are now. So they might be limited. Sheffield United would be okay. Sunderland, they will be royally fucked, basically, because they won't be able to spend hardly any of it, being it all comes down to the PSR.
Well, also,
they don't get to count that 200 as revenue.
That Sunderland has to make the stadium improvements for VAR. They have to spend the money that way, much like Ipswich had to.
Yeah. That would have to be installed if they haven't got it already, which I don't think they will have.
I don't think they do.
But I mean, the thing is, they're not going to have to do much else because that stadium is still a fantastic stadium.
50,000
Sorry,
seats, right?
It holds 41.
49.
Does it? I think something like that. I didn't think it was that big, but I noticed it's definitely in the 40s. Because I think, I don't think it's 49. That's
you
very
think
big.
Burnley has 10,000 seats, right?
Unlike Lawrence.
Or Bournemouth has 10,000 seats.
49,000. Stadium is 49,000.
49? Is
Bournemouth
that big?
10,000.
Wow.
Burnley is bigger.
In the 40s.
It says it's currently the 9th largest stadium in the English professional game, apparently.
Which one?
Who's that?
It's the 9th largest stadium in the English professional
Stadium of Light.
Which club?
Sunderland.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the thing is, historically, they were a huge club. And we're talking back, the wars and everything, like in last century and everything.
But Mark,
club.
you should watch Sunderland Till I Die. It's a great documentary. Sunderland Till I Die. I think it's on Netflix. But,
it's probably on Netflix because almost all the documentaries about football is on Netflix. All right.
I want Sunderland to go up, and I
Amazon.
want them to do the double on Newcastle next season.
I think Sunderland deserve to come up. I mean, Sheffield United definitely love West Ham, and that's for sure, because they've got 42 million reasons why they love West Ham. But I prefer Sunderland to come back up again. They're the poor man's relation to Newcastle, and I think it's something that they definitely need that kind of rivalry again.
I agree with them.
I personally think that Sheffield United deserve it.
I think they'll get it though. Yeah.
They finished almost
quality-wise,
20 points ahead, I think, or whatever it is. Is it 20?
Yeah, they've been there all season as well.
That's a good shout.
Okay, 14.
Right, for all
14
that work
points.
To lose that.
But you know how it works, David, don't you? I mean, you've seen like the fifth place team sometimes, or even the sixth place, and they get themselves up there. It's just madness.
100%.
But that's how difficult it is, and I don't think Leeds really messed up by allowing themselves to get relegated when they did. But that's what happened. But West Ham, you would know this, Tone, obviously, that you were in the second tier not that long ago, really, when you look at it.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, you've got up and you've stayed in the Premier. The same with Mark. Wolves got up, they stayed in the Premier, and the gap now between the two divisions is just massive.
Yeah,
and even Leeds, who are a massive, massive club, are gonna find it really difficult next year.
Agree with that.
I mean, not being funny. Look at Luton. I mean, at the end of the day, you'd thought them being relegated, they're part of a competition to go bounce back again.
Now,
Wow, that's dropped like a stone. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that can happen, though, can't it? Because you get used to losing.
Yeah.
And what keeps the three that came up from going straight back down, besides Tottenham and Man United having a disaster again? I mean, honestly, as much as we love Leeds United, you're right. Like you've spent 2 years being a Premier Championship club and dealing with that, and then when you come up, what keeps you from, what are you going to have to do to stay up?
Very good recruitment.
Like you cheat like Nottingham Forest.
No, they won't do that.
They cheated and got caught and got fined, and they were totally fine.
Not being funny on that one, Lolo, because it's amazing that when Leicester came into the Premier League, when they came up for this season, they were supposed to be deducted 10 points. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
I agree. They didn't.
They skirted that because they had been relegated when those charges came. Yeah. And they didn't apply outside of the Premier League.
Is Melier starting game 1, or are you guys getting a keeper?
He's gone.
I honestly, if I'm Leeds, I'm going after Kelleher. He's not starting. Hey,
not
take him on a loan.
Million.
Take him on a loan.
Well, because Liverpool has the guy from Valencia coming.
Yeah, I'll take Kelleher in a heartbeat at West Ham.
I think you'll find that he might end up at Newcastle. I think
Kelleher goes to Leeds. That makes perfect sense because who is it? Who's coming in for Melier in the last few weeks?
Darlow
is not a Premier League keeper, and they're going to get someone, and Darlow is going back to the bench. And of everyone that I see that is possibly available, Kelleher makes the most sense. That's who I would pursue if I'm Leeds.
That's a lot of money for a goalkeeper. I'm not being funny. You don't need that much.
But what about a loan?
That's not down to them, is it? That's down to Liverpool.
Aaron Ramsdale.
Fair enough.
Aaron Ramsdale.
It could be Ramsdale. Could be Ramsdale.
Like guys whose confidence is absolutely shot.
They've also spoken about Sam Johnson.
Relegated, and when he got on with the
relegated
team,
3 times.
It didn't work out.
Fine.
Yeah, and
when he got on with our team, we went. When he got on with our team, we went from 7th, 8th place to 2nd place.
Yeah, but
I think he did very well.
Yet you still chased after fucking Riot.
He'll be in the Premier League. He's a good goalkeeper.
Yeah. Ramsdale belongs in the Premier League. I think Ramsdale could do well with a team like Manchester United. Actually, as much as I joke about that, he seems like a very Manchester United.
I mean, Ramsdale had it bad because he's got the defense in front of him. When he got to Arsenal, you looked at the stats, and he's facing the most shots of most goalkeepers in the league, and it's like, of course, he's gonna give up more goals. But with that in mind, he still was able to make saves and whatnot, right? And that you put a better defense in front of him, he'll look better, like anything else, right? So. Yeah. No, I think so you take any of those teams that are like he'll make Chelsea look better, because they're at least a little bit better than where he is now, right?
Chelsea would be a good call. Ramsdale because
Yeah,
he's better
Chelsea-
than
Well,
Sanchez.
if the rumours are true, and that he's probably going to be West Ham bound, if it is true.
Yeah.
Is it over
I'd like Nick Pope.
West Ham
I think
has what?
Newcastle will bring
Fabianski
somebody
and
in.
Areola.
Well, Fabianski's
Ramsdale would
gone
be-
now.
Ramsdale would be
gone,
a
he's
solid
gone.
choice for
And
West Ham.
after Areola's howler on Sunday, and then
That fucking shit was nuts.
you know,
Stupid.
that
Whoa,
would
that's
put
a
him-
bit strong there, Lawrence.
It was
Get
terrible.
behind-
Did you watch?
Get
Did you
behind
watch
your
it, David?
players. Why
No,
would
no,
I
not
watch
that-
that shit?
I'm telling you right now.
Jesus Christ.
See what it was,
Yeah.
Gary. David, he wasn't wearing his bifocals because when he looked up on that, all he saw was blue. And he thought it was Clayton blue, and he passed it to the player. That's what it was. It was shocking.
These things happen. These things happen.
Yeah, but he looked up.
Arsenal
he
might
had
win a
time to launch
trophy
it.
tomorrow.
Oh yes, the women are. Yes,
Oh, the women.
The women are going to show us how to
Arsenal's
do
gonna
it.
fucking kill them, and you know it.
Yeah.
Dear.
Grasping at straws
Fuck,
there.
now we have
I
Burnley
know.
back in the
I know.
league.
We've got off topic a little bit, but an 8th place team can make it to the conference league.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
Yeah,
if Chelsea wins in the cup match, but then they finish 7th,
Oh,
an 8th
that's
team gets
right.
an 8th team gets
Is
to
that
go in.
right?
They're in the Europa
Yeah.
Conference.
But only
final.
one team from the top 6
How,
will
Lolo,
go into the
Because-
Europa
because
League.
the-
how hard are
The
you
Football
really
League,
to beat
they
Chelsea?
qualify for the conference as well, don't they?
With all
Yeah.
everything I have, Chris.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
With everything
Newcastle
I have.
takes-
Newcastle.
Newcastle takes one of the 2 spots,
How
so
funny would it be if
only one team goes and everybody
Yeah.
else gets either
Yeah.
Europa League
So-
or
Yeah, that,
Champions League.
And
Yeah.
so if
I love that.
Newcastle finishes top 4, they have to relinquish that. Right?
Can we just, as much as I have zero respect for this guy, but can we have a little respect for the tweet that Anthony sent out, or on Instagram or wherever he sent it out
Where is he
after
at?
Tottenham won? He's at Betis now, but all he tweeted out was, "And I was the problem."
Oh.
Yo, give it to him. He scored a banger today. Like he's
Oh, McTominay.
no,
Anthony.
Anthony.
Oh,
I'm so
for Betis.
McTominay-
They played in La
McTominay won
Liga, but
Serie
he had
A
a banger
MVP.
today, a beautiful goal today.
You see that? McTominay, Serie A Player of the Year.
yeah.
McTominay, yeah,
crazy.
and he was
It's
the problem.
crazy.
And I said I even tweeted out, and Mark rolled his eyes or did like a thinking emoji when I said Harry Maguire is their best player.
He was.
That should tell you something. That should tell you there's a real fucking problem.
What is it?
going
We
on at
need a
Manchester
goal.
United.
We need a goal, so we lean on Harry Maguire, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they bring in an extra center back so
timely goals
Maguire
that he
can
has
play
scored
forward.
this season, you're like, yeah, he is definitely the man.
No,
that's
you
giving them
look
what
at
they
their
needed.
you look at their run to the finals. Their run
It's
to
been-
that
it's been
final
excellent.
was all on Harry Maguire. It was
Yeah.
all Harry Maguire.
Oh,
And-
wasn't
and
that the
in
one that
that
went to
final,
like 120 some odd minutes?
No problem, Tony. Tony's got to leave.
All right, Tony.
Vince,
All right,
thanks
Tony.
for
Run on.
It's
Thanks
been a
for
pleasure.
joining
Thanks for coming on.
Hey, Tony, take
Good
care,
to see
bud.
you,
And
Tony.
you as well, yeah. Look after yourselves, and
Hey, Tone, come on, you on.
there's that as well, mate. And you know,
That's
just
a
remember that
very
thing
gay
behind you. Yeah?
pose.
I
Winners.
know, you know what? I didn't
Winners.
say it. I didn't say it, David. But oh,
Oh, I'll fuck David up for that shit. That's
Okay.
something like a kind of gay
Come
guy.
on, you
Yeah.
Lions. Come on, you Lions.
David, like Boy George singing. They wanna
See,
sing
we
a
already knew
special
you was in a
song.
closet one, David.
We
Now
know,
you
we know
brought
what
it out, mate.
irons are in England. Mm.
Yeah. And is it weird that your like motion is half of the Macarena? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like,
See?
come on, man.
Yeah.
What are we
Tony,
doing?
you're
here?
getting into this. I'll
Come on,
figure it
you irons.
There you go. We got you doing it, Lolo. It's only taken me X amount of episodes, and I've finally got you doing it anyway. But gents, look after yourselves.
All right.
Take
Have a
care.
good night.
We'll catch you later.
Akalabi Bagaria Magarena. There you go.
So, bye-bye. And people in the chat, thanks for tuning in. Thank you.
I thought David was going to say the same thing about blowing bubbles, but
No,
What's
no,
that?
no. Bubbles is done. Bubbles is laying on the side, going
yeah.
like, no more, please.
we're not blowing
Right.
bubbles anymore.
You can't keep blowing me all the.
you said me.
Bubbles is there
You
just
said
smoking
me.
a
Does that
cigarette.
mean-
That's what
What
Bubbles
is your?
is saying.
Is that your middle name?
Bubbles is saying, enough, guys. You can't just do it
Actually-
at the beginning of the match. You have to score a goal. Oh no!
Oh,
God.
what is
yeah,
it?
there
What
it
is
is. Memories
Wow.
of our show. But I
It's
gotta
either a
say,
swastika or I don't know.
Swastika.
okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't
You know what?
really
You know
wanna
they
go
call
there,
they
but I
call that
remember
the
Jay.
COVID got him.
I
He was-
remember
he
that
was
day.
sick.
There was a very, very
COVID got
angry
him.
Irons fan.
Oh
who
man.
was
Yo,
like,
well, he
no
was-
way.
we
But-
were both angry because I had a swastika on my head and he had a giant cock on his head. Like he had the cannon, and it just looked like a cock and balls.
Oh, he
and
was,
I had a
he was
swastika,
pissed.
and we were both
And
like, "Can we stop this live
and-
stream? This is not
and
going well."
all things too. He did it, but he never came back to the show.
He never came
He
back, and
was-
he was very mad
Nope.
about it. And we even found a barber in his hometown in Texas, and I was like, "I will pay for it." And he's like, "No, I'm going to
Yeah,
find
I
my own
remember
barber if I have to do this." He was so mad.
Right. Yeah,
And
was
then he
so
ended
mad.
up with a cock and balls.
Because the difference, if I'm not mistaken, was own goal. There was an
No,
own goal
so
involved.
so the difference was just semantics, because the bet was there's no way in hell that West Ham are going to score more goals than Arsenal. Because he was like, we're going to go 3-1, 3-1 or something like that. And I was like, there's no chance in hell that West Ham score more goals than Arsenal. And then it ended up like a 3-3 draw, but we
There
had
it is.
two. Yeah, there he goes. The guy made
Cock
it
and
work,
ball.
but originally it looked like cock and balls, and it was like not happy. I mean, he still wasn't happy about it, but
Yeah, there's
but-
only one team that has cock and balls.
it was Arsenal. Like West Ham had 2 own goals or something, so he was like, technically we scored more goals than you.
Right.
So I said, you know what? Fine, I'll do it. I think we even won because it was just supposed to be him. And then I was like, okay, you guys technically score. I'll do it because he was bitching out. He wasn't going to do it.
Arsenal fan, rate the teams that you hate in order of 1 to 5. Like like Spurs is 1, right?
No,
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Chelsea's 1.
for me, Chelsea. And it's probably only because of Najee.
Oh, poor Najee.
Are those the
I
top
miss you,
0?
Najee. If you're listening out there, we definitely miss
For
you.
me, I would probably go Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, Villa,
4.
City.
I mean, you can throw any number of fucking London teams out there. You can throw Brentford
Villa-
in there for that matter.
But I just remember from the moment I started following Arsenal, Villa were just like they were bouncing up and down from the championship, and it didn't matter. Whenever we played them, we just had a hard time. And then over the years, you know, when we could have won the league, we lost to Villa. When we could have won the league again, we lost to Villa. It's like, and then they got fucking Unai Emery, and now there's this, and now, and I just, it's less of a, like Chelsea, I hate the fans and what everything they stand for as a club. Tottenham, it's a banter thing of location, and you know, it's more of a historical thing. Man United is a deeper historical thing, and I hate the fans. City, if they had any fans, I would hate them. I just hate them because they're the Patriots at this point.
Sorry, wait a minute. What's that about City? Not having fans?
Well, Anisha's a fan, but
City have a lot of fans.
I went there.
They have
Those
a lot
aren't
of
fucking
fans.
fans. Those aren't fucking fans.
They
I'm
have
sorry.
a lot of fans. They always have had. Another massive club. Another
Hey, you guys
massive
didn't
club,
mention.
City.
You guys didn't mention that Ben got married.
They what do you call it?
No, because he
They-
doesn't come on the show anymore.
They average just 1,500 or so less than their attendance. You know, they're Man City always had big
Congratulations,
attendances back in main road
Congrats,
days and
Ben,
things
yeah.
like that. You know?
Congrats, Ben.
Yours, buddy.
Hey, there you go.
Never.
Stop supporting Leeds.
300 kick.
Brilliant.
John, did you make that? That should be its own meme right there. Hold on, put that back. Put the end screen. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab that and put that on Twitter. Right
That was on. I think James had given that.
Oh, okay. You didn't make it.
I edited all of the other ones.
I think that it would be certainly appropriate at this moment to acknowledge the fact that one of our very own Stoop legends, Ben Ireland, got married just a couple of days ago. Married a wonderful woman by the name of Colette, who I had the privilege, and Lolo got the privilege to meet when we were in England.
What about me? What about me? Forget about me. Why do you hate me?
I don't hate
you. You hate on me.
Sorry. You know what? I'm not making this about you. This is about Ben. No,
I'm making it about me.
Now. And if I David was there too. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not making this about you. I'm not making this about anyone other than Ben and Colette. All I want to do is put a fucking heartfelt congratulations to a Stoop legend, Ben Ireland, who married his love, and they are going to have an absolute fabulous life together. And I could not be happier. So, Ben, if you're out there listening, cheers to you, mate, and cheers to you, Colette, as well. Happy to know you both, and I hope you have a long history together. Cheers.
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 Where's Lolo to read this tonight's sponsor?
Tonight's sponsor is the judge that married Colette and Ben.
No. In honor of Ben and Colette's marriage. There you go.
The boys on the Stoop put together all their money to get them a wedding gift to top all wedding gifts. On the Stoop mystery sponsor is, hold on, Lolo, who's not here. Friends, are you tired of being disturbed while trying to watch that big match? Peace and Quiet Production presents Control a Woman. Oh, no one is going to control Colette.
Oh, I'm glad you're doing this, Mark.
Oh, Colette, if you're listening out there, no, I had nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with
and Mark, we've met her. This isn't working on her.
This is the control that she's going to use on Ben. Oh, hard hats, vouchers, including choose your favorite team. $100 off.
Get $100 off.
Divorce. Oh, good lord! You're already cursing them, Director John.
No.
That's what John does. He makes fun of people.
All fun aside.
Yeah,
we're being very serious here, Ben and Colette. We love you both, and we're very, very happy for you.
They're hanging out in Portugal as we speak.
Now, if you make it 33 years
man.
like me and my wife,
Colette.
you got a good job.
30 years. Congrats, Lawrence.
33. Yep, 33 years.
33. Whoa.
Your wife?
Yep.
33.
I'm close.
No, my fucking pet dog, John. Of course it's my goddamn wife. For Pete's sake, dude.
I'm close.
No, 33. I'm just thinking of your poor wife. 33
14.
years waking up every day to that face.
It's a lovely mom.
John, I think you need to rewatch the movie. Because if you watch Up, his face changes slightly throughout the movie. He starts as a little kid and then he grows up in Up. You'll just have to watch it. It's Lawrence's whole progression.
I'm only kidding, Lawrence. 33 years, good for you.
So congrats to Ben, and another shout out to another Stoop legend who looked death in the eye and fought through it. Our own Mr. Tom has had some setbacks health-wise, and but he's out of the hospital and he's doing a little bit better. So big up to Mr. Tom. Long time.
Speedy recovery, Mr. Tom.
Probably the
Tom
longest Stoop legend, huh? Mark? The oldest Stoop legend.
Continuous? Absolutely continuous.
The best one, Lawrence.
And if you get a chance, send a shout out to Mr. Tom and just tell him that you're thinking about him. You can reach out to him at Mr. Tom. What is it, Mr. Tom 63 on
Don't be giving out random fucking Twitters if you don't know if it's true.
Look, I'm trying. I'm trying
Some
because
Thieseballs.com.
Mark, I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you.
Whatever it is, I think it's Mr. Tom 23. If you just
don't guess is all I'm saying. Stop guessing.
Look, man, maybe Mr. Tom, the other Mr. Tom, maybe he's going through a hard time. I don't know. but really,
God, cut him off, please.
Our Mr. Tom is having a real rough go. And
you know what? Why not hit up Mr. Tom 22, Mr. Tom 21, Mr. Tom 20? All of them probably need a hug. Is what we're saying.
Here, hold on. I'm gonna get this.
Mark, I'm finding it for you.
We're killing you.
Knowing Mr. Tom, he is Mr. Tom 20, 21, and 22.
Yeah, no, but
he's
he is Mr. Tom 28. So there you go.
There you go.
28.
28.
Yeah. There you go. So, however you do it, just look in on Mr. Tom. Send him your very best because he can use it. And I don't want Mr. Tom to think that we've forgotten about him or anything like that. He is a huge part of who we are, and I want him to. I cannot wait for the day that he is ready to come back on any of his shows, whether it be All Leads Are We or the wrestling show or on Don't Waste the Tweet or this little tiny shitty show called on the Stupid Lolo. I don't care where he comes back to. I just want him to come back. And so, Tom, if you're out there, speedy recovery. We're waiting for you, and we will always wait for you.
Mark, that was beautiful. I just
I'm a
hate
fan
when
of Tom.
Mark, I just hate when you get sentimental because you tend to fill it with jokes that are so easy to jump on, and I just can't jump on them because you're being sentimental and and I'm like, he said that, and I'm just fighting all the jokes.
Look. Lolo's that try not to be a dick meme.
Right. Despite my malapropisms, despite my inexperience, despite my repetitiveness, I have nothing but the best of hearts, and I love you all, even you Arsenal fans.
See, you got the nothing but the best of farts. You're just Mark, when you're sentimental, you make it too easy. There you go.
She had makeup on then.
Oh,
she's
wow.
Still hot.
That's the same lady.
That was David.
Did you guys see that?
David, was that your wife?
That was the same lady. Hey, that's an Arsenal fan. You. Well, that's not an Arsenal fan.
No, he's definitely not an Arsenal fan.
Get in there, you gooner.
Okay, so to finish this out, Lawrence.
Yes.
Who had a better season, Tottenham or Arsenal?
Arsenal. No matter, I still agree with that. And they got the trophy there, but at the end of the day, they were a better team. Spuds, I'll never ever say they had a good year. I hate them to the death. So I'll never.
I knew I picked a West Ham fan for a reason.
I'll never give them credit. I actually Spuds with their trophy.
All right, Lawrence, who had a better year, Arsenal or Crystal Palace?
Oh, Crystal Palace.
I would know. Great shout there. I'm gonna go with Crystal Palace. I like them, man. Yep,
yeah, I'd give that one to that. Mark, that trophy means more to me than the Europa League. Like what
Good
Palace
there.
did
I would go with Palace.
means more to me than what.
And like you
did.
guys said before, the fans And as a fan of a team that's not in the top 6, to see those fans celebrate and cry because they won a trophy after all those years, that's the passion and love you have.
You know
team.
what?
Mark, can someone talk besides you?
No,
Mark,
please,
let me
please,
finish.
Please, of course.
God,
My
damn, dude, I love you, but let me finish. I only talked like a couple seconds with you. But the thing is, Crystal Palace fans like that, it was like the passion that I had when we won our trophy in Europe. It was like,
which trophy?
Not...
Which trophy was that?
That was mean.
No, Lawrence. You're saying good shit. Continue, my friend. Continue.
I'm sorry, Lawrence. I had to do that. You just like, whoop, boink. It's so easy.
But Lawrence, continue.
I'm sorry. You are.
I'm done now. Lost my flavor. Thanks, John. Fuck yourself.
Well done, Lawrence.
Okay,
I'm gonna let you talk. You better talk.
Okay, then who's going next? David, I want you to go next. Who had a better season, Tottenham or Arsenal?
Tottenham. They won a trophy. And they've ended up in the Champions League. That's it.
All right.
But Leeds had a better season out of all of them. So
Leeds definitely had a better season out of all of them. All right, Gary.
Yeah.
Say it, Gary.
Here's a better question, Gary.
Would
you rather have had Arsenal season or Tottenham season?
No, I don't want that team season. But no, but they you know what? they won a trophy, and that's what we all strive for. So there you go. I mean,
well said,
Gary. Long term, I hope it pans out for us. But you can't be. At some point, you got to cross the line. So I don't want to finish the race all the time. I want to actually cross. I want to bust through the tape. You know what I mean? So
you never finish the race.
So who are you saying?
I don't like that team. I don't like anybody. So, but they did better than us.
Come on, it's Arsenal.
Yeah.
So, Gary, are you saying that Tottenham had a better season than Arsenal?
They got a trophy.
That's
Gary, what I. You know what?
You can't say more than that.
They got a trophy.
5-1.
Guys, I'm gonna need you guys to be quiet for a second, because we need Gary on camera saying what I think he's saying.
I don't like them, but I'd rather win a trophy than not.
So who had a better season?
I don't like them.
Say it.
No. No.
Did Arsenal have a better season than Tottenham? Yes or no?
Yes.
The team that won a trophy had a better season. Does that work?
That's as close as we're getting. All right, Chris, you're already giving your answer.
All right, the answer is yes.
Let's hear your explanation.
The answer is yes. It doesn't mean that it's not disappointing. You should have put closer to 80 points up in the Premier League. No one can question that. You guys beat Madrid 5-1 in a two-legged affair. You only lost to the best team. The only reason you're not in the Champions League finals is because you lost to the best team in Europe, which is also a team that smashed Liverpool. Arsenal had injuries. They probably still should add 80 points because they drew too many games and didn't go for it enough. But they had a better
enough. I agree with that.
Thank you, Chris. Fucking somebody talking some fucking logic.
What did he say?
I'm
not talking to you anymore, Gary. I don't like you ever since you said Tottenham were better than Arsenal this season. God damn it. All right, Mark.
I didn't say. I don't know what that name is you just said.
Newcastle.
You're not going to like what I have to say, but Tottenham had the better season. If the goal is to win trophies, Arsenal did not, and Tottenham did. Regardless, if you finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 17th, the end result for both teams was the same. Both qualified for the Champions League.
They only want a
So
trophy that exists because we're corporate
does-
whores.
It does
Because
not
of what?
matter.
Because we're corporate whores and need a
It does
second
not
trophy in Europe
matter.
and a third trophy in
Now,
Europe.
There's always the second trophy, though.
when enough
Chris.
I know, but-
American-owned teams make the Premiership and they can control the vote on how things go, it doesn't matter.
But
The end result
There's
was
those
both
armpits for
teams
you, Mark.
qualified for Champions League.
Take a snap for the spank bank, Mark.
And look at those! Look
I
at
see
those!
zebras. I see
Look at
zebras.
those!
So what did I
armpits.
think about the Europa League? The
The
Europa
fact
League
remains is Tottenham won a trophy. Arsenal did not. Both qualified for Champions League. It has to be. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what happened. It doesn't matter how many points.
Mark,
Arsenal,
we need to give you cliff notes.
it doesn't
Less than
matter
60
how
seconds.
how far they got into the Champions League because they got fuck all. They got
Mark,
fuck all.
Mark,
But
thank
they're competing for
you
real
very
things.
much.
The
Thank
show
you very much
started.
for
the
your
show
opinion.
started with
As
Lolo
much
and
banter as
Mark
we give.
going at it, and it's finishing like that. Brilliant.
Hey, I was asked.
I love that you gave us your opinion, as horrible as it is.
Well, 5 years
and
on the show,
wrong
my
as
my
it is.
opinion has been wrong. So I will stand. I will die on that hill.
I just can't believe that a Wolves fan is saying trophies matter. Like, come on, no. We're talking best season. Who had the better season? And if you want to talk about the season, yes, trophies matter. But in the end, there's what? 4 trophies? 5 6, 7 with the Conference League and all that shit. But like, best season.
Don't forget Lawrence's. Don't forget Lawrence's trophy.
14 trophies.
Yeah, so
I know you love me,
I'm
Lawrence.
just saying best
Man United
season.
wins the
You
conference,
can never not smile when you're looking at me.
or if Man United won the Europa League, would we really say Man United had a better season than Arsenal?
They both achieved the same thing.
But
there was
Mark's
silverware
Mark's
involved. I will
opinion
still say that.
Mark's opinion is trophies trump. So
David,
trophies
have levels.
Lawrence,
I agree with Mark, because at the end of the day, when you look at the history books,
yeah,
the history books will show that year Spurs were winners.
Yeah, in
as
10
were
years' time,
Newcastle,
no one will give a fuck that
Palace,
Arsenal finished
Liverpool, maybe
but that's why I'm
Chelsea.
saying I hear your opinion and I do respect it and I understand it and I understand what you're saying. So, but my opinion on it would be season wise, who would walk away from their season happier? Spurs, maybe because it happened at the end that they got a trophy and they walk away, but they could lose their last game of the season and then walk away sad, going like, "Oh, we are fucking shit in the league."
So,
as opposed to Arsenal,
Good point.
Arsenal,
That's a
I
good point.
feel the players are going to walk away feeling like, "Fuck, we were this close, but we're there." And that to me shows that what
they will say is we were this close,
and we fucked up again. We fucked up again.
Yeah. However, we're there.
I came to Arsenal to win
need to do
trophies,
is this and this.
and I'm not winning.
And
That's what that team is.
Who was
saying.
it? Mateus Tell, who joined Tottenham, who said, "I'm going there to win trophies," and then they go, "You won a trophy," and now he goes into next season. Do you think they have any confidence of winning another trophy?
No.
I guess the stars will let us
Mark,
know next year.
No. I'm saying
Maybe
if
they
you're a
win a
player on
domestic
Tottenham, do you have
trophy,
any
Lolo.
hope that you're going to
Maybe
win
they
a trophy next
domestic
season?
trophy. If Palace and Newcastle can win one, why can't they?
That's their it. They're thinking that way, David, of like, if they can do it, why not anybody, even us pieces of shit?
Why not? Why not? You know what?
Yeah.
It wasn't Tottenham that proved that. It was Crystal Palace that proved that. Crystal Palace proved that, you know what? Anyone can win.
But Crystal Palace played well all season.
Isaiah Love.
No,
I want him on West Ham.
They came alive
Yeah,
after
they did. They were quality.
They're sitting in the top six. They played well this season. They don't. You don't finish. You're saying it's all luck, then? None of that. They didn't do anything themselves. Everybody else just gave them those wins. No.
Crystal Palace have been a.
You don't think a healthy Tottenham, if they keep the same squad, can compete for top 4?
No.
I mean that on paper, that's a very talented team. Solanke, Son, Johnson. You've got Van de Ven.
Yeah, but you know what? That doesn't matter because it doesn't matter for Arsenal because we can name off players too that didn't play well because they were out. So and you just said that's not. That's my whole point. No, but you don't want to hear it when it's Arsenal. So you know what?
I'm just saying.
The question was.
Everybody stop! Everybody stop! Everybody stop! Everybody stop! Everybody stop! We're just talking over each other. So I'm going to go Gary, Mark, Lawrence.
No, the question was about the season, right? When you look at the season, did you achieve the goals you had set forth when you started? No, Arsenal didn't do that. Are they set up better for the future? Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing. You know, yes, we didn't get a trophy, but we're set up better to win a trophy more than probably most teams in the league, right? And that's why the expectation this year was to get a trophy because of the previous season. We've beaten some of our challenges, you know, as far as going deep in the cups. But until you cross the line, you still haven't reached that goal. And the goal is to win a trophy, right? We're done with this building thing. But you're seeing growth, right? You're seeing progress, as we call it. But at some point, you got to cross the line first, all right? So for me, yes. That team and Manchester United, they're not set up for the future yet. They got to start all over again to figure this thing out, all right? Because we've seen what happens when, you know, all teams struggle with injuries, right? But like I said, we're set up better for the future. But if we're gonna go by just you know, at the end of it, like on Sunday next week, you look at what you accomplished and you didn't get where you wanted to go. I don't think that team came into the season going, you know what, we're going to win a trophy. They got one now, but they don't think they planned that way. I don't believe they did. Not the way they were set up, not the way the season ended for them last year. Did they had an opportunity to get it, and what did they do? They didn't waste it, right? They ran through that Europa League, right? But in general, that wasn't the goal when they first started. Top 4 was definitely the goal, right? To win a trophy, I don't think so.
Here's the thing. Gary, you just said that Tottenham did not expect to win a trophy. At the end of last season, what did Ange say? He said, I win trophies in my second year. What happened? He won a trophy in his second year. Now, what you just said about Arsenal being set up for success and next year, I've been hearing that for the last 3 years from Arsenal fans. I have been hearing we're going to win next year, and you fall short.
You're repeating everything I just said. What are you saying? Give me your own thoughts.
I am just saying is I am tired of Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, next year." No, you're no more set up for success than any of the other 19.
I don't believe that. I mean, you're saying it, but that's not true. What you just said there.
Seriously,
that's not true. If you're looking at with your eyes at what you just saw, you can't really say that.
You have won fuck all.
Do you say that look at the way your season's ending? Are you think you're set up to win anything? You're going to say no because you had no opportunity. You don't have an opportunity to do that.
Hold on. I think that's a bit of hyperbole saying
bit of a stretch.
19 other teams, Mark. But had you said
look at Forest. Look at
Because-
Brentford. These are teams
Mark,
that are competing.
Look at Leeds United. Look at Burnley. They are not set up in the same way Arsenal are to win the fucking league.
I think David might disagree with
financially are not. You think Leeds United are fucking set up in the same regard
We're
as
gonna
Arsenal
fuck
to
you
win the
over,
league next
Lolo.
season?
We're gonna fuck you
Well,
over.
we got another old guy out
Good.
here talking nonsense, screaming at the sky.
What?
Why you have to talk about
He's
age,
having
Gary?
fun with
I'm gonna
it.
start
No,
calling Gary
much
out
rather
his
have them
informational
scream
age.
at
trying
the
to help
sky.
you
I'm
out
gonna
here.
start Gary on Dave
Mark.
and his fuzzy little thing.
Mark,
Don't
I'm
fucking
actually trying to
I
help
love,
you
I
out
love
here.
you,
I'm
Lawrence.
just
I love
saying,
you.
I love you too, Gary. I love you.
I
too.
hear what you're saying, and you're not wrong about it, but 19 teams is a stretch. Saying
Yeah.
6 teams, 7 teams, even looking at Manchester United and Tottenham, where you're right, Mark, when you say, look at their team, there's no reason they should be 17th. You're absolutely correct.
They won't
They
be next
have they have a top 6 club in their midst. It just didn't work out this year for whatever reason, for injuries, whatever. It just didn't happen. However, their players are too good to be down there next year. And Manchester United are the same way. But now we're looking at Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Newcastle,
They're too good to
Villa.
be down there this year.
Yeah, they're too good to be down there
They're gonna be
this
under
year.
40 points. There's no, I don't
And
care.
that and that is fucking insanity.
If Tottenham was 11th,
So Mark,
if Tottenham was 11th, I'd give it to Tottenham. They are 17th.
Yeah.
They are the first place.
they haven't
not to
hit
get
40
relegated.
points. They have not hit 40 points. And we're on the last day of the season. So all I'm saying is you're right in that there are 6 or 7 teams who could quite easily win the league next year. This year could have been a handful of teams had they got their shit together a little bit earlier and had Liverpool actually had a real dip. But they never did. We were waiting for Liverpool all season to have a little bit of a dip, and they just never
it doesn't
did.
matter though.
Do y'all
Yeah,
know
yeah.
how many points West Ham had to finish the season when they won Europe? They had 40.
Yeah, that's
Lawrence,
more than Tottenham.
can you back me up? They had 40 points that year.
It was a different season, though. Where did they finish? They finished like 13th, 14th.
We were
No.
14th and
No,
we
no,
won.
no, no,
Yes,
no,
we
no.
were. We were
But
14th.
you
I think
threw a
that's
number out there. You threw
Yeah, you have to
40
be
points
certain.
out there.
I have to go give
Tottenham
him a
can
stat,
win their
dog.
final game of the
David
season
sit-
and finish
Mark's
with
sitting there
more
with all his
points
numbers. I'll
than
have to
West
check
Ham
it,
did
but-
that year.
And Mark, I think their season was shit, even though they won something. These
Still
guys.
got the
It was.
trophy.
We
And
had
that's
3.
all that
Good for them.
matters.
That's awesome.
Trophies is
That's
the
awesome.
winning trophies is the end result that
I-
everyone wants.
So does nobody get fired then? So as soon as you win the trophy, nobody
David
gets
Moyes
fired.
got fired, which I thought was
Everybody
a
got
huge
fucking
mistake.
fired.
I don't think it was, but I'm saying I think there's.
Well,
different
look where you are
expectations.
now.
Well,
Potter's not the answer.
Who is?
Lopetegui wasn't the answer.
I think you need to check yourself because I think more so it's not just the managers, it's the players performing, and it's the owners buying the right players. So you can't always blame the managers. I've said this for a couple years, Moyes included, Lopetegui, and now Potter, is that you got to get the right groceries. And it comes down to the owner, and the owner is Sullivan doing it. Let me finish. I know, Mark, you love to talk over people. Let me fucking
I'm
finish.
not looking to
So what
talk
I'm
over.
trying to say is that that's our problem, is that we have to have someone who's going to buy the right groceries to get the right job done in the chemistry. Potter can do it, maybe. Lopetegui can do it. Moyes is okay, and then Moyes will do good in Everton because he can get a good thing going. But I'm telling you right now, the problem right now is getting the right players, chemistry going, and that starts with the. And the problem we have is Sullivan. His ass always wants to try to be involved in it. He is not smart enough to have proper direction on getting the right players. So back to your point about us when we won it, when we were 14th in the league, we started fading. We still won it, which was great, but we started losing our luster. We were doing what we were like 3 years in a row. We were in Europe.
Europa League, yeah.
So I was proud of that. We're not perfect, but we got that. We're slugging now, but we'll come back. So that's all I got to say.
Lawrence, you're perfect.
I know I am.
I predict that West Ham will win a trophy in the next couple of years.
I love that, David.
Yeah, championship.
The championship.
You're gonna suck it. Suck it.
It's a trophy. It's a trophy.
Just like Leeds. Hey, Leeds, guess what? Leeds was at 21st in the Prem this year.
You wait until next year.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to it. Know what? I am so looking forward to it, David. I am so looking forward to it, buddy.
I'm expecting Leeds to splash the cash. They're going to spend the money.
I think they will, but they'll do it wisely.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I think
our
Leeds
recruitment
will
this
as
year was
well,
fantastic.
but I think there's more holes in Leeds than their cash will cover.
I agree with that. Mark, finally, I agree with you.
If that is the case, Mark, then unfortunately football is fucked. Because if you can't have a club like Leeds and all their cash and their recruitment, if they can't make it in the Premier at least 1 or 2 seasons, then you might as well do away with promotion and relegation.
Yeah.
Hey, David, I have a
crazy.
question for you. What is Leeds going to benefit? What does Leeds have as a club that will keep them above their Prem from the last 6 teams that have went down every time they come up? You get what I'm saying? Because for the last 2 years, the teams that come up, they go down.
I'm gonna
go down.
beer.
So what
Anybody
does
need anything?
Leeds have that they'll stay up? Or are they spending more cash?
I think the club is better run. I think the recruitment the recruitment this year, they got it spot on. And they did very well last year as well, but this year it's spot on. And they've got the cash. I mean, they've got a lot of money. They've got big backers, and everything's being geared towards longevity, like redoing the stadium and things like that, which are going to start by the end of the year, I think, or at least the preliminaries will be.
Are the 49ers 100% owners now?
No, they're not.
No, not 100.
I keep hearing
they're the
They-
big boys. They're the big boys. They call the shots. Yeah. But yeah. If Leeds can't stay up, then it's just spells very, very badly for any other championship sides that
It's been like that, Dave,
current championship
for the last 2 years. It's been a struggle for the ones that come up. Burnley is. I'm just taking facts. For the last 2 years, the ones that come up, they seem to go down, and they don't fight very good. I have confidence in Leeds. I think Leeds has the chance, and even Burnley to an extent, but the history does not show in the last couple of years.
I mean, the interesting thing about Burnley is, can they be as? I mean, they've got an incredible keeper. Can they be as defensive?
Defense is good, but offense, 100%. You hit it right on the head. Can they hire or can they buy more attacking?
I feel like Burnley's going to have the type of year where their keeper is going
It'll be gone.
He's going to be in the shop. He's going to be in the shop window for a different Premier League team.
100%.
I think he'll be gone. They've already lost Egan Riley, who was like.
So that's the point, though. They'll pick these good players, and they'll come up, and they don't have them players that got them there, and they fall back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got good shout. Yeah.
But that's a lot of that is down to the current Premier clubs who have voted through one of the rules, which is actually going to penalise the Championship clubs even further. The ones that come up, because they're not going to be allowed the same amount of money to spend as Premier clubs, in a one-off season.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I mean, basically,
they essentially created their own Super League to some degree with those restrictions.
Oh,
right?
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it like that, that's basically what they did. They said, the haves and the have-nots, right? and you need to have. And the only way you can have is if you can survive. But I mean, Leeds showed that if you have a side of the ball that you can lean on, right? When they first came up, I think that your attack and the way you were set up there would surprise some teams. And so until they figured it out a little bit, and that's how you're able to, I mean, that first game you had, everybody's like, wow, what it was against Liverpool, right? Liverpool had, and you're like, and they used that throughout the whole season, for me anyways, to at least get something over on the Premier League teams who may have struggled a little defensively. And yes, they might have lost some games 4-3, but they actually did get some wins because of that same style of play.
We finished 9th that year, but it was also the pandemic when there's behind closed doors and all that. And, I'm sure that had an effect.
The thing is, I mean, I guess if you're a Leeds fan, you're thinking, all right,
why do you let these people
who are the
here?
teams that are
Ronnie's
like
not
12 through
authorized.
17 that are gettable?
Sorry, say again.
If you're a Leeds fan going up, you're looking at, all right, who's kind of like 12 through 17? Who's the team that we can hop? And 2 of them were just in a Europa League final, and you're not expecting them to be that bad anymore.
Yeah. And then you look at West
everyone
Ham,
else there is.
And West Ham are a big club, and they won a European trophy just a couple of years ago. And Wolves, okay, they had a shit season by their standards, but they came good in
had
the
a
end.
great 2 months.
Everton will. I think that Everton will have a bit of a springboard. I mean, they're having a real clear out and everything, so I expect
They've
them
had
to
a
do
great
quite
bounce
well.
back. Them and the Wolves had a great bounce
you
back.
almost have to hope like Palace.
I think a big team's going to get relegated next year.
You have to hope Palace and Bournemouth
Who's that, David?
go elsewhere just because they're so. Everyone wants Glasner, or everyone wants Iriola.
Yeah. You know what's scary about?
I think a big team is going to get relegated. An established Premier side next year will get relegated. That's what I think. I think Leeds would be enough to stay up. I hope.
Yeah, it could happen.
I think Everton is going to get relegated next year.
Really?
They're going to lose far too many players. They're going to lose Beto. They're going to lose Decore. They're going to lose who's their striker?
Beto. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's a free agent. And if I'm Leeds, I'm looking
to take it.
I'm looking at Calvert-Lewin.
But look
how
he
never
that
plays.
guy spends more time on the sideline.
Just
than
saying.
Plays.
Hurt
Just
all
saying.
the time. Way too much hurt. Hurt way too much.
I don't know.
I would if I'm Leeds.
I wouldn't spend $1 on him.
Can I talk for 1 second about your team, sir? This last few months of Wolves is what I expected from them from the beginning of the season. Mark, I remember telling you, I think you guys are going to be good this season. I feel
great.
There's some really good players there, and you guys started with like okay, and then shit stopped working, and then didn't you change managers? Or no, that was
obviously we changed managers.
You changed managers, but the team didn't change all that much, and the way you guys have been playing for the past 2 months is how I thought you guys would have been playing most of the season. So, and you went from 17th place to now what, 13th, 12th?
We're not quite that high on the table, but
14th?
All things said,
14th.
we may finish
14th.
better than finish better than Spurs. All we have to do is beat Brentford.
You'll finish 14th if you win.
If we win, which is I think we're on the beach.
And
but
if you draw,
here's the thing.
you probably. But what I'm saying is, can you imagine? Can you imagine if Wolves had played that way all season? Where would you be? I mean, because that's only say you won 5 more games. That's 15 more points. You're up in the top 10.
That's a mighty big if.
No,
I
but
think
the
next
way you guys
year
are playing,
we're
you guys are
going
playing
to be even
phenomenal.
more in trouble than we were this season. I do think with look, I look at the championship and I see Leeds being a quality team with all that money behind them. I see Burnley being a quality team with all that money behind them. The ownership of Wolves have proven that they're not interested in spending. We're going to lose Nelson Semedo. We're going to lose Cunha. There's a possibility that Ait Niori goes to Liverpool.
Can you guys get Strand Larson permanent?
I think we keep him. I think we buy him from Vigo because I think I think that there's like the clause where if you play him for so many games and that or so many minutes that he is that you have to sign him. I love that.
Vigo are like 7th, man.
And I've never been a believer. I've been 2 years a non-believer of Jose Sa. I think next year we're going going to be in trouble.
Ryan G says that you're confirmed, Mark.
There is absolutely sure. I also believe that there is absolutely no guarantee that Pereira stays with us next season. I think Wolves is a stepping stone for him, and he's gonna sign on with another Premier League team. I really
like who?
I really do.
I think there's going to be openings.
Hey, your manager.
I think Areola and Glasner and who's the guy at Fulham?
John Malkovich.
No,
the guy who used to coach Watford and Everton.
It's Aranola or something like that.
Like I think you're going to see people poach those. Like Glasner, I think is going to go to Germany.
Yep.
With the opening at Leverkusen or.
I also think the teams that think are going to do better might struggle as well because the team that just won the Europa League, there are players on that team that supposedly might be leaving as well. So
what team?
That team.
What team?
Speaking of leaving, it's 4:30 here. Yeah. I'm going to sleep.
Oh Jesus.
Love you, John.
Take care.
You guys can fucking just. You guys were just yapping and yapping and yapping.
I have to listen to this shit. I have to sit here and listen to this shit.
We'll have some tweak.
Right. Exactly.
All right, see you.
Exactly.
Have a good night,
guys. Take care, bud.
No, like I was saying, that team could also lose players, and also by playing in the Champions League, they don't right now have a squad that can handle the Champions League along with the Premier League as it is. So and they might have some players there that might be looking out the door as well to move on as well. I've heard some of the big players there could want to move on, and Son's only he's not getting younger for sure.
Nobody's skiing his son. That's a problem to Spuds. They're weak. Spuds, they got lucky.
Son
own goal, victory trophy, baby. I love it.
Any Champions League side can attract the top players, That's the thing. Obviously, the more established Champions League side can attract the very top. But Spurs will be able to attract some very good players. It's all whether the owners want to spend the money,
they've always been able to get players out of clubs like Ajax or what. Like it's a stepping stone.
But they need to go a little bit more if they're gonna sustain the next season.
The thing is, they don't have to because they finished so low. No one's expecting them to finish top 4, but if they finish top 7, that's which I would bet Spurs are going to finish top 7 next year.
Yo, Chris, my biggest fear. And I just got to say, big up to Ronnie, who's in here, and Daniel, Neiden.
Ryan, that's on board. Ryan,
yo, I know you guys are Ryan G as well, but Ronnie and Daniel, I know you guys are Tottenham fans. So
I like that.
let me just say, congratulations on your trophy. You won a trophy. Congratulations. Enjoy this. That's it.
They won the NIT.
Sorry, I just
being real. I'm just being real. It's a real show, right?
I would say Europa Conference is more NIT.
Yeah, that's fair.
But hey, I didn't say it. I said congratulations to you guys. So congratulations. And I know I don't know what else I was gonna say at that point. Now I forgot what we were talking about. So good. Guys, it is now well over the end of the show time, and we've had a ton of extra time. So we're gonna head on out, but we threw that link in there if you guys want to join us backstage. I'm not sure how long anybody is staying backstage.
10 minutes.
We will be there 5-10 minutes. So if you want to join us backstage, you can join us for a little bit as we let our hair down. Just click on that link. Otherwise, guys, it has been fantastic talking to you. We didn't even take a bio break or anything.
David, Mark, you need some of this.
Yeah, Lawrence is blessed with some hair.
Hey,
Lawrence is the only one on the show with hair. All right. So from we love you guys. Thank you guys for joining us.
Gary might have underneath this snuggie. He might have some hair.
Please.
No.
What's going on, football fans? It's your boy Lolo. Want to kick it.
Murderers, robbers, rapists, dealers, pedophiles.
Welcome to the revolution!
Justice isn't commerce.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Just stop it!
Who the hell is without a helper, and what does she have to do with my sister?
Do I look like I need a psychological evaluation?
That's not the issue. The issue is why you didn't tell me.
I recommend that he be given a psychological evaluation before taking over his next assignment.
Just like old times, huh? You goddamn son of a bitch! Come in the eyes. May I have a little kiss before you go? I'm very lonely here. Oh, we're being lied to. I don't like secrets. I could report you to the authorities, have your goddamn license suspended.
Smoking cigars now. And I thought he was perfect.
Would you give your life to save the world if nobody knew you did it?
Boy, you're a cocky one.
You got a great point there. And a sign that says, "No snakes allowed."
We're past all that. No more games.